Okay.
Oh my.
Hey folks, how you all doing? Just thought we'd do a kind of just chill out stream. I've got Arch, Lullaby, Rags, and Scrump with me. Thanks for joining me, chaps. And me and Arch are just gonna be playing some Gladius to satisfy the autism, really.
Does this mean we have to stop saying the N-word?
No, Necrons are allowed in this stream.
No Necrons.
Sargon can't say it, or else he's gonna have 1,000 retards coming after him.
Well, God, what would be new, to be honest? But yeah, so I mean, I like I was saying just before the stream started that it really feels like shit's spiraling out of control, right? And I genuinely mean this. Like things are getting just absurd, just really absurd. And that someone in the chat's like the thumbnail is perfection. Actually, it's not. The British flag is upside down on it, but I couldn't find one that didn't have the British flag upside down. So I was like, all right, screw this.
You couldn't find any. What is the thumbnail exactly?
Boris Johnson leading some crusade.
Wow. I mean, that would be nice. I would right the ship.
I mean, if Boris Johnson declared a crusade, then I would like to see the result. But the reason for the thumbnail and the title of the stream, which Arch, there will be periods where I'm pausing it to show something on the screen as well. So not pausing me, I won't be doing anything.
Just being a slow bastard. Yes, I'm aware.
Well,
I'm
because
used to it.
I have to manage what's on the screen as well. Oh shit. The reason that I say this is because of this. Boris Johnson said that Islamophobia is a natural reaction to Islam and that Islam is the problem. How do we feel about that, chaps?
I mean
truer words have never been spoken.
Well, I checked the article, and apparently this might be an article you wrote for The Spectator in 2005.
Yeah.
Well, the issue today is that, unfortunately, with him and Farage and others, they seem to have completely backed off the issue.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of a shame. I don't know. He made comments quite recently defending Jacob Rees-Mogg on the issue, though, when he made the letterbox comments.
So
which
yeah,
I thought were funny.
Well, this is the quote that they're using, and I love the way the Business Insider, right? If you look at all of the pictures they've included, they're all Boris pensive or disappointed or sad or something like oh God, Boris, you're in for it now, and it's like, listen, Business Insider, right? No one cares that the Chinese are currently ethnically cleansing Muslims out of their country. No one cared when Burma did it. And the British public probably aren't going to be like, oh, well, that's it. If Boris Johnson said he doesn't like Islam, or Islamophobia is natural, then we're not voting for him. It's not the case. The British public are not SJWs.
No, I think yeeting the Muslims is quite popular with, Big Bazza down the pub. So it's not going to be...
That's not our opinion. That's Baz's opinion, all right?
It's Big Baz's, mate. Yeah. Big Bazza also thinks dogs can't look up, but that's never in there. But...
So anyway, in 2005, Johnson wrote in The Spectator that he believed it was only natural for the public to be scared of Islam. To any non-Muslim reader of the Quran, Islamophobia, fear of Islam, seems a natural reaction, and indeed exactly what that text is intended to provoke. Judged purely on its scripture, to say nothing of what is preached at the mosques, it is the most viciously sectarian of all religions in its heartlessness towards unbelievers. Woo.
Well,
any objections to any
nasty
of that?
Book.
Well, I think it's accurate.
Dirty kafir talk is what that is.
In the wake of the London bombings, he also questioned the loyalty of British Muslims and insisted that the country must accept that Islam is the problem. It will take a huge effort of courage and skill to win around the many thousands of British Muslims who are in a similar state of alienation, and to make them see that their faith must be compatible with British values and loyalty to Britain, he wrote. This means disposing of the first taboo and accepting that the problem is Islam. Islam is the problem. What is going on in these mosques and madrasas? When is someone going to get 18th century on Islam's medieval arse? So, yeah. Discuss.
Based and red-pilled.
It continues to shock me how people cozy up so readily to Islam as a force.
Right.
Baffles my
It's either
mind.
because they're directly afraid of it. That is the reason they're dhimmis, is they are afraid.
Yeah.
Or they think that in some way politically it's going to help them because, well, honestly, if you put the Muslim first, in any kind of like it's basically like being in a protest and the leftists are pushing Muslims to the front, knowing that they're more willing to do violence than others.
I will say that I'm also impressed that you're not dead, Louis. There were rumors.
There are definitely rumors of you roboting as well, Scrump.
Oh, for fuck's
no.
sake.
But yeah, no, Louis Levi confirmed still alive, which is good.
Yeah.
He
So,
made it.
the-
He's alive.
The whole thing. I mean, like, I'm trying to think what's the counter argument, right? And the only thing I can really think of is that's Islamophobic. That's you
just don't understand real Islam. You just haven't studied the texts.
You don't even speak Arabic. Yeah. I've
speak
heard
Arabic, the most beautiful language ever created in all of history of man.
My favorite one.
everything from the Middle East is beautiful. You don't understand,
Got a hairball.
right? So the contention is that the Tories are Islamophobic, but the Labour Party are too busy mired down in a scandal of actual anti-Semitism for anyone to give a shit at the moment. But they're really trying to push it.
Sides.
I see so often like the centrists, quote unquote, on Twitter trying to be ridiculously generous towards the Labor Party to say like no, this is all made up, this is nonsense, and then there's going to be and then they're like the next day there's a new article about someone being kicked out of the party for going on some crazy anti-Jewish rant.
Yeah. Well, I saw I with my burner account, I'm following Owen Jones, right, and I saw him reply to someone because they'd said something like, "Oh, look, it's the Jews," and they've got like a Labour rose in their profile and all this, and I'm like, "Fucking hell," like and he was just like, "Get fucked, anti-Semite" or something. I'm like, "Yeah, but dude, your entire party is based around hating wealthy people, so
Yeah.
I mean, where else are they gonna go?"
The 1%. Let me tell you about the 2%.
Yeah, right. No, but it really is. It's like we literally hate the billionaires and the rich. It's like, oh God, Jeremy, that's an anti-Semitic trope in and of itself, isn't it?
It's a bit anti-Semitic, isn't it?
Like just saying that sounds anti-Semitic if you think about it. It's like, oh dear. So so basically, Labour are fucked, and there's going to be a YouGov poll released this evening, apparently at 10 o'clock, and people who have already seen it are like, this is not good for Labour. Which is good for
interview.
Oh yeah,
Corbyn's interview. My God, he went down in flames.
Yeah, so Andrew Neil did an interview with Jeremy Corbyn recently, and Andrew Neil, for anyone who doesn't know, is a British BBC host, and he is conservative, but he will adopt Labour lefty arguments if it's convenient to attack the person, like he did with Ben Shapiro. But he is famous for going actually after the meat of the issue, and that's what he did with Jeremy Corbyn. He just starts off with, the chief rabbi of England says, and you can see Jeremy's already breathing heavily. It's like, oh fuck, man, you're just in some real trouble here, aren't you, Jezza? And I mean, what were the other issues he hit? He went for the anti-Semitism, the costing of the manifesto. What else did he go for? He went for some really good stuff.
He not only went for the costing of the manifesto, but he also pulled them up on their pensions promise that wasn't even in the manifesto.
That's
right. They magicked up, what was it, £56 billion out of nowhere?
Yeah, for the Waspies. For anyone who's not familiar with what this is, basically boomer women who probably wanted equality when they were young sat there complaining about equality now because the pension age has been raised. So
oh my God, yeah.
They're not to equal that of men. So women, it was like 62 or something. They were getting their pension, and men were getting theirs at 65 or something like that. And so they're like, "We're missing out on 3 years worth of money." It's like, well, I mean, you wanted equality, didn't you? So, just saying.
I heard something. Okay, occasionally when I'm in my car, I listen to Radio 4, and I heard this hilarious interview with one of these women. They'd been warned about this since 1995.
Wow.
Like they had known this was coming since 1995, and this woman was like, "Well, when I tried to retire, I was shocked because I found I couldn't actually retire." Back in, what was it, like 2010 when this was introduced.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, they were like, well, this legislation was introduced in 1995. It's like, well, when people didn't have social media, I was busy looking after. How can you expect me to know when I'm supposed to retire? It's like, do you have any idea how much financial information, like even like university students have to keep up with these days? And this woman is complaining because she couldn't be bothered to seek actual advice on when she could retire. When the age had been, they said it was going to be raised in 95, and they actually raised it in 2010. So there was what, like a 15-year period where they could have found out about this.
This reminds me when they were gonna change. I don't know if they've done it over there in Britain or elsewhere where you're listening, but over here in America, they had that point where they changed all the broadcasts and TV and stuff from analog to digital, and they told everybody about it a bajillion times, and they still had to delay it because people hadn't gotten their rears in gear and done it.
Yeah, the boomers. I remember the boomers with the Freeview switchover, the digital switchover. Why isn't my old telly working from the 80s?
Because it's from the 80s.
So I just want to get through a couple of the super chats that have already come in. All hail the toxic brood, restore the empire. Wow, good idea.
Of course, absolutely. All hail the toxic brood.
Since Guy Verhofstadt's promoting empire so much, I do think that a reconsideration of the abolished status of the British Empire should be something reconsidered. Unfortunately, it is actually being reconsidered by Labour. They want everyone to hate it. I mean, you guys saw that, right?
Oh yeah, I did. It's terrible. You should never encourage a country, especially its youth, to hate itself.
No, it's ridiculous.
Even if it's for just sheer pragmatic reasons, you don't want a country to hate itself.
Yeah. It just seems like a sensible thing, you know. But yeah, so the Labour manifesto, their race and faith manifesto. Imagine being part of a party that has a fucking race manifesto.
That must be rough.
It's
They are
crazy,
socialists.
especially if you're not the right color that you need to be.
Yeah, right. You know, I just can't believe it. Like the Labour Party in 2019 actually released a race manifesto that was just SJW talking points. It was all SJW talking points, and like they began with, "This is a manifesto for social justice," and it's like, okay, so I was right, is what I'm saying.
The way to troll them is that, like, if they go into the topic of the issues of like color and all this sort of thing, race differences, it's just like get in front of the microphone and just be like, can you explain to me where the Jews fall in this platform?
Oh, wow.
Who do
I
they
had this
count
discussion.
as?
Are Jews even white? I was reading an article about that from 2016 today, and it was hilarious.
They're fellow whites.
my
That's what
God.
they are. Yeah,
How-
but no,
how
seriously
do
though,
you?
like the whole thing is amazing because it's all, they don't say injustice really, apart from the British Empire stuff. Because the difference is obviously with an injustice, there's a procedure you can point to and say they should not have done that thing. But in every other section, they use the word inequality because that's not saying, oh, there's an injustice. That just means things are different. And of course, things are different. Things are always different. God damn it! It would be ridiculous if they weren't. And so they can't use the term injustice because otherwise, then they'd have no real argument. But yeah, it's actually an unironic race manifesto from the Labour Party, and they wonder why they've got so many ex-BNP people in their ranks. It's
Yeah.
not even
I wonder
joking.
if No Bullshit would vote for Labour because he asked Sitch whether he was white or Jewish first. So who knows?
Oh yeah, that was giving me like a brain aneurysm watching.
Yeah.
So
It rolled off the tongue rather naturally. So maybe he should talk to Corbyn if he needs a younger guy to succeed him. You know.
well, I don't see what problem he'd have.
He'd probably just be like, "That's my wife, dude. Stop talking about my wife."
What was Sitch's answer though? I wonder, what did Sitch say?
Sitch actually wasn't shocked like I was, and
Yeah.
we all were whenever we watched it. He said, yes, he considered himself white first.
Right. Okay, that's interesting. Because I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know what the answer to that question is. You know, like I don't really, you know, because he's talking about identities, isn't he? He's not talking about like
Something, yeah.
genes or something. He's talking about identity. But anyway.
I don't know if that's what he meant.
Well, I mean, I suppose maybe not. I don't.
He doesn't
know.
seem
Well,
to
if it
be.
came from
yeah.
someone else, well, then again, that's not the thing that comes from someone else. So I don't even know.
How did he pronounce white? Was it white or white? Because if he said white, then you know.
Yeah. Then he pronounced it correctly, didn't he, Louis?
White.
Yeah, he did.
He doesn't seem the type to invoke like Schrodinger's nose, though. So
I don't think he's smart enough to understand what that means. Honestly, I genuinely like. I know that Sitch thinks he's like secretly smart and hides it. I don't think anyone's that good at hiding it.
I don't know. I think the thing that always annoyed me was journalists who were talking about like that literally the "how do you do fellow white people" meme. Us white people need to get better. It's like, how dare you? I'm Jewish. You know, I have my old Uncle Herschelberg died in the Holocaust with his 17 brothers. How could you? I'm not white.
There's some alt-right account where all they do is find examples of that, and it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's an account called The Noticer for anyone who is actually curious about looking this up. And I mean, it does happen a lot. Yeah, I'm just saying it. Like, it does actually happen a lot.
I'm sure it's just a coincidence.
But I'm. But the thing is, I think I agree with Sitch. You can be both, you know, obviously. Anyway, for the Emperor, Lord Castellan Bojo, hi Rags. Oh wow, Rags,
hello.
So popular. Keep up the good work, Sargon. The thought of all this Labour government getting to power is giving me sleepless nights. Honestly, me too. I mean, if the Labour Party releasing a fucking race manifesto doesn't tank them, like absolutely tank them, then people who vote Labour just are not thinking about what they're saying and what's going on. I mean, I'm honestly in awe. A race manifesto. Imagine the conversations that happen in private to make that happen.
What did it actually say? I don't think I've watched your video on it yet.
Oh,
I'm just aware of it.
Just Google, in fact, Labour Race and Faith Manifesto, and it'll be the first result.
Race and faith.
Yeah, just honestly Google it and read the first line out. In fact, just to hear your reaction live, because it's.
I'll let you know when I open up. I'm in a game now, so once I'm done,
okay.
I'll look that up.
They drafted it up in a beer hall.
Race and faith. Oh my God! Are you the right color? Are you the right religion? Jesus,
dude, that's exactly what it is. It's full on SJW rhetoric. It's all SJW rhetoric. It's like Tumblr has sprung to life.
Okay, I'm opening up the Race and Faith Manifesto.
Oh no! I can't believe that's what they call it.
No,
that's
you're
like something out of
Labour's
1930s Germany.
Labour's Race and Faith Manifesto. The Socialists' Race and Faith Manifesto.
Labour Party, Race and for the many, not the few. Together, we can create a society that truly puts wealth and power back in the hands of the many.
I can't believe they still use that saying, that motto. It's so awful.
Do they think that the immigrants are the many, though? I mean, are they talking about London?
They're gonna be. Well, they're banking on it for this election.
Whether we're talking about the United States or the UK, I mean,
I thought they would have changed it because of the whole "for the many, not the Jew" thing, but
no, they stuck with it because they don't give a shit about them Jews.
The first line is, "We should celebrate our diversity."
Yeah, the very first line.
Except the Jews.
Yeah, they're too diverse.
Yeah.
We're not having diverse white people. Fuck off. But anyway, carry on. Any, what's the next line?
Oh God, I just closed the tab. Give me a second. PDFs. And in so doing, we must acknowledge that the rich variety of cultures, faith, and colors that make up this country should not have come together and thrived as they did unless we had fought together against discrimination. So that's just saying diversity is our strength, basically.
Yeah. And this is a social justice manifesto, blah-de-blah-de-blah. Oh, God. This is the future. This is the future of the Labour Party. A social justice manifesto. Embrace it, guys.
I can't stand the whole black and minority ethnic, the whole BAME thing. It's so cringe when they do that.
Yep. It is I was going to say the worst, but there are a lot of things that Labour do that are the worst. So, I mean, I'm not going to just single one of them out.
It's literally them bundling the non-white.
Yeah, it really is them declaring themselves against the majority of the country as well. Like, everything in there is designed to pull down the majority in order to pull up the minority. Like, they have a section in there about representation where they're literally like, we are going to force representation in public life. And it's like, okay, but what does that mean? That means you're going to have to fire a bunch of white people because they were white and in a position that you want to see a non-white person in. This is Labour's fucking idea. It's like, think I'm gonna die. I think my brain's gonna melt.
Well, I'm sure they're gonna do great in the election.
Well, yeah, I'm really, really hoping they get absolutely canned. I mean,
Well, it does all fold back in, because aren't there certain Labour seats, especially majority Muslim Labour seats, where there's a lot of controversy around the postal vote count? Haven't Labour been found to be, defrauding constituencies before? Didn't they let someone who was involved in that be involved in a campaign quite recently in a by-election?
they quite
That's,
possibly did.
Oh, the thing is that they have definitely billed themselves as the ethnic minority party, and in many areas they have all Muslim shortlists, and that might have something to do with their anti-Semitism problem.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of saying.
So
Enemy of
The
my enemy.
Muslims are not. They are worried about the Jews. Okay, look at the Middle East. Look at how peaceful they coexist with one another.
there's nothing in the
Example.
scripture that talks about Jews either. They're not hiding behind rocks that are calling out to the Muslims to come and kill the Jew that's hiding behind it, or anything like that. These things are all alt-right fabrications, and you shouldn't take them seriously.
I love it when they said, I love it when they say, "Have you actually read the Quran?" And then you quote the Quran at them and say, "Well,
Yes.
actually, the Hadith put that more in context." Then you talk about the Hadith, talking about Muhammad marrying and raping a 9-year-old, and like, no, we only talk about the Quran.
But it was normal at the time.
I mean,
It's-
to be fair, right, there is a lot of it that you can say that is normal at the time. So, like, judging Muhammad by modern standards is kind of bizarre. But also claiming Muhammad is the model of
Not
the perfect
really.
man is kind of bizarre.
Well,
Like-
if
Well,
God
no,
was
it-
okay with it back then, that the whole thing is
Well,
that
yeah.
it seems odd that God wouldn't buck social conventions.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, for any other historical figure, it would make zero difference because that's, the context of the time. But Muhammad was making categoric and eternal moral claims that Muhammad is the perfect man and his is the perfect life. And it's like, well, I look at Muhammad's life and I think, eesh. Yeah, it's a big
Yeah,
yikes from me, dog.
Yeah, oof, that's a big yikes from me, my dude.
Yeah. In fact, on the subject of big yikes and dogs, what's the deal with Destiny actually being a literal cuck?
What
What does that have to do with dogs?
Well, he
Apparently,
says,
he
"Hey,
doesn't care
dog,"
who
all the
fucks
time.
his wife.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, hey, dog. Oh,
Oh my god, that's such a lame segue.
Yeah, well, it just
Polyamorous.
sprung into my mind because that actually is what Destiny's saying that all the time. Actually, like whenever I hear the word dog, I actually hear that him going dog.
You've heard Destiny too much. You've ruined the word for yourself there. What has the internet done to you? Wait,
Kind
I've
of.
not heard about this though. The whole
I'll
literal
reclaim
cuck
it
thing.
for you.
Yeah.
What happened?
So basically, there's some clip of Destiny going on Twitter where he's on some live stream and he's like, "Yeah, I'm in a polyamorous relationship," and he literally says, "I don't gatekeep who my wife fucks," and I'm like, "Dude, I gatekeep the shit out of that."
Yeah, I would.
Or
I
his
would.
girlfriend's
That would be a yeah. I'd gatekeep that. I'd keep that gate.
Man,
I
gatekeep that
am
little-
seriously starting to become pro gatekeeping. Okay,
Yeah.
if we had gatekept more, Gamergate wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have been a fucking issue.
You see,
Yeah.
I heard. It's not gatekeeping. It's more gatekeeping. So
Gatekeeping.
if you let Tyrone near her, that's what it'll be.
All I'm
Unironically-
gonna say. Oh, go ahead.
No, go on, Lou, go.
I was gonna say. I would say to Destiny, dude. Honestly, being serious for a moment. I mean, you're setting yourself up to be the next Russian Deadpool. He was in the same situation.
No, Russian Deadpool was in like the Chad version though. He had 2 girlfriends.
Oh,
Still.
no wonder he went crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there. Wouldn't recommend. But I didn't take mushrooms and kill like one of them though. So.
Yeah, I'm just saying,
Loser.
if these so-called polyamorous relationships don't seem to be, very functional, they seem to be quite dysfunctional.
Yeah.
And, I would stick with monogamy and say to Destiny, put your foot down. And,
Put your
Yeah.
tiny little foot down.
Tiny little foot
Yeah.
down. Give it that
Before
tiny.
Tyrone
Oh my
does.
god. Chat is saying gash keeping now.
Chat, could
Oh,
you be
mother no.
slightly less savage than we're allowed to, so we can actually. Um, but yeah, so like at the end of this little clip, he unironically says, you know, I don't care because I know she comes back home and she loves me. Because it's me she loves or something like that, you know. She comes back to me because... And it's just like, dude, that is the saddest thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, I don't hate Destiny enough to want him to get cucked on the daily, you know. That I just... Dude, it's okay to stand up for yourself. It is actually okay to say, I don't appreciate this.
At what point does I guess if you're really, really big, you know, a big feminist kind of type and you're very, very big into empowerment and stuff, at what point do you put your foot down and say, you know what? You're a bit too empowered in this relationship. I feel like the balance is off. At what point do you just say that's enough? I'm here too. You're doing stuff that takes us out of the bounds of,
I guess,
you know, of you and I.
If she had anything resembling a conservative belief, you might do something about it. But
Or a conscience.
Yeah. Maybe she should consider his, you know, emotional and physical needs before that. It's not gatekeeping. It's called being a couple. You fucking retard.
That's gatekeeping.
I mean, have you considered the feelings of the bull?
I'm sorry, Tyrone. I'm sorry.
You didn't even think about her boyfriend there, did you, Scrump?
I didn't think about Destiny's girlfriend's boyfriend. I'm sorry. I must apologize unreservedly.
Does someone need to make that meme where how does it go? Like where the woman says I consent and the man says I consent. It's like, oh, but you're forgetting to ask someone else, and normally it's Jesus,
Tyrone.
the clouds, but instead it's Tyrone.
I don't.
You know.
Okay, I'm putting forward a conspiracy here.
Go on then.
What if Destiny's bull, his girlfriend's bull, is Dank?
That would...
His girlfriend's not a trap.
Yeah, hang on. That would be hilarious.
Sue's not a trap.
What?
Are you
Sue's
sure?
not a trap. Yeah.
No,
Have we checked?
Well,
I know at least Dank has.
yeah, but he might be in favor. He's pro-trap, is he not?
He's lying.
No,
It's
no.
another conspiracy.
Right.
It's a deeper level.
Thanks a happily married man. Thanks a
Happily harried man. I like that.
Yeah, I'm having like a stroke over here.
So who is the bull then?
I don't know.
It's another man named Marcus?
What?
Oh.
What? Where has Dank come into this? Have you just made this up?
No, I'm not.
It's because he debated him. Who else has Destiny debated?
I have my sources close to the White House.
Right, okay, fair enough.
That Dank is the bull.
I mean, it's literally the most hilarious thing I've heard in a long time.
My sources are from the intelligence community.
I mean, I kind of understand adventurous and like do things as a couple, but like letting your partner go off and just fuck other people is like that's like miserable. Can you have some self-respect, my dude?
Yeah.
Just being degenerate and then just being emotionally abused.
It's so disgusting, though. It's like, what are you doing?
You know, somebody just brought it up in the chat. You know, it'd be funny if his wife's pussy got outsourced to China, so the bull is actually Chinese.
Okay, we're changing the subject.
All right.
You ruined it, Louis.
Yeah.
You ruined it.
Have you seen the recent Joe Rogan podcast with Tulsi yet? Also, High Rags.
Hello.
No, I haven't actually. I did hear that she was on again. She's been becoming quite the villain of the Democratic Party, isn't she? Has anyone been following what the Democratic Party have been like doing with Tulsi Gabbard? Yeah.
They're preemptively accusing her of being a Russian plant. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're actually treating her like a villain now. Like it Saturday Night Live or something like that the other day. They actually had her as being like Cruella de Vil. It's like fucking hell.
Yep.
Like that seems a bit unfair. Like it's uncharitable to say the least. But no, poor old Tulsi's not going to get anywhere in my opinion. But I think she's doing a fucking amazing job fighting the good fight.
She's embarrassing the Democrats from within. They're putting her forth like a cartoon villain because she's, you know, conciliatory and doesn't agree with a lot of their conspiracy theories.
And awesome. Like a vet who actually likes her country. Like she's such a great choice.
I mean, yeah, I'd hit that.
Well, yeah, obviously, but like, and she's also beautiful. I mean, just coincidentally, she happens to be gorgeous. Like, follow her on Instagram; it's worth your time. You know, that just coincidentally happens to be stunning and brave and the Democratic Party hater. So,
Stunning and brave, you're saying?
unironically though, actually unironically, that they are characteristics that you could ascribe to Tulsi and it'd be accurate, I think.
I don't know. I despair because she's a decent candidate, and it's a shame that she can't be existing in a sane election cycle. But the big top is getting pretty full at the moment. We are reaching like some sort of circus climax here.
Yeah, we certainly are reaching something.
A crescendo of some kind. I don't.
There's a few people bringing it up in the chat. I think that honestly, if you took a hard look at Tulsi's record in general
Tulsi is-
and her position,
Tulsi is the bull.
she could be the bull.
Oh my.
She's pretty Chad though.
Yeah.
Her record is not that good. She's closer to a socialist than she is an actual liberal, and I can't say that I'm very much in favor of her economic, and she's a total cuck on trade. So
In what way? What do you mean about the cuck on trade?
she's basically criticized Trump for the trade war.
As
With
a
China.
left-wing alternative candidate, yes, I don't agree with her, but I think she's a lot more sane. I think she can't not have those positions because she's a Democrat.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's probably required. But she is a lot more sane than most of them. It's wonderful.
I'm looking at the Race and Faith Manifesto.
It's crazy.
This bit on the side. If we are going to be truly proud of the wonderful things we have achieved in our history, we must first be honest about our past. It's like if we want to be proud of ourselves, we have to be ashamed of ourselves. It's like
Yeah.
that's a great strategy.
But I mean, at least we can be proud, according to Labour. There's just a really convoluted and self-flagellating way of doing it.
Oh man, this is probably going to be quite the read.
It's not even very long.
It's not long.
It's like an SJW fantasy
12
wish
pages,
list.
10 pages, something like that.
The thing in the back of my mind when I'm reading this, though, is that Jeremy Corbyn used to lead around a naked Diane Abbott at these like socialist as a sign of empowerment.
Yes, it
That
was
is an
very
actual
stunning
thing.
and brave.
That is an actual thing that happened, and I still can't believe that is an actual thing that happened. I also can't believe that these places just didn't immediately start vomiting because I've seen Dan Abbott. But
Yeah. And if anyone wants to talk about this on Twitter, just use the hashtag Tulsi is the bull. Because that's got a real ring to it.
Tulsi is the bull. Yeah. It's just Tulsi with like a fucking dragon dildo strap. Tulsi Gabbard with a fucking 10-inch horse cock.
But she's Louis, when I said she's been remarkably Chad, I just mean like her performance in the debates and the way she's holding herself. She looks like she's unstoppable. She looks like she could break any of them over her knee. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, oof, mommy.
Yeah, no, it really is. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
I mean, that's the joke they did of her on SNL, but
Yeah.
it's basically it's not really far off from the truth in that like no one really takes her on from what I've seen.
No, they can't. I mean, what are they going to say? Stop spanking me.
Nothing.
I don't know.
I mean, everyone on the stage, pretty much other than her, they're all inauthentic.
Totally.
Every one of them, including Bernie Sanders, who is full of shit. And it's amazing to me that at this point, anyone still supports him who's serious.
Ah, yes. Millionaire criticizes
Millionaire. It's the billionaire's fault. Yeah, I bet you fucking think that, Bernie.
Is there any position that he isn't two-faced on? Is there one at this point? It's what I mean. Like, I don't understand how anyone can take him seriously at this point.
Well, he's completely collapsed into the SJW narrative, hasn't he?
Yes.
You know, because he used to say things like, "Open Borders is a Koch brothers project," because it is.
Yeah, and he's fully endorsed open borders.
Yeah,
he's been confronted on it. He's been confronted on the issue, and he's deflected.
Yeah, because he knows
he doesn't want to address it. It's totally dishonest.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can't say that Bernie Sanders is in any way like that's the thing that people advocate that is one of his strong suits is that he's real, he's authentic. It's like. Yeah, in 2016, when he didn't open his mouth every other second and contradict himself constantly.
Yeah.
But
And
nowadays, no way, man.
the thing that separates, because everyone's like, oh, Jeremy Corbyn's the British Bernie Sanders. It's like, no, actually, he's not, because Bernie Sanders actually doesn't hate America. He
That's
didn't
true.
hate America, right? He actually thought America was quite a good place, and he liked his country. But Jeremy Corbyn, for his entire life, has consistently hated this country and loved our enemies. He has actually always been a communist traitor. So
The only comparison would
consistent.
be Bernie's love of maybe just the Soviet Union, because I haven't really seen him praise any other place other than maybe also Cuba. I'd have to go
Probably.
back and look, but
the thing is, like, that kind of like love of the enemy is definitely in Bernie, but it manifests a lot less strongly than it does in
Yes.
Jeremy. So a lot, Bernie can still make like a moral argument from being an American, whereas Jeremy certainly couldn't make a moral argument from being a
No.
Brit.
No.
And so that's the difference.
I think he's endorsed one too many terrorist groups.
Oh
I mean-
god, they hate him in the Midlands. Have you seen that footage of him being called IRA scum?
That's because he unironically supports the IRA, or supported the IRA. He invited them to
Yeah,
fucking Parliament.
Oof.
He invited the terrorist who blew up the fucking thing to Parliament. It's like, I don't know what to say, man. That seems like unironically siding with our enemies. So, I mean, this is the thing, right? This is the reason that people like Jeremy Corbyn fucking are hated, and they don't know why they're hated by the people that they're trying to help, or they think they're trying to help. Is they don't realize that politics is not about being principally correct. It's a team fucking sport, Like, when dealing with Britain on the world stage, if you are not on the side of Britain, it doesn't matter how pure your beliefs are. Like, people are going to be like, but this is our team. Because a country is a team sport. You have to remember that, And that's why people, like, just look at Jeremy Corbyn going, yeah, but in principle, I think the IRA are actually correct because the British have been oppressing them. It's like, we are the British, numpty. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter. Like, no one's voting for Traitor McTraitor. Idiots.
Well, I guess some people are.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah, the other communists are voting for you, fine.
Exactly. I was gonna
Like-
say, there you go.
Yeah, great job. Sorry. And then someone went, oh, but that's not rational, isn't it? No, it's not. It's really not, but this is what we are, and this is how we feel is right. Yeah, it's not rational, but that's still something, and you can't reason that away. That's the thing. It just is. But anyway, Calamati, hey man, I was just watching your bore bag of the week number 9, which happens to be on Jeremy Corbyn. So go to just Google Calamati's channel and actually go and watch it, because seriously, I was about halfway through before we had to start the stream, and I was really enjoying it. And
Ball bag of the week. Yes.
this is why I was able to suddenly understand what the difference was between Bernie and Corbyn, because Corbyn just genuinely, like, since like the 70s, early 70s, he's been like just against Britain, just generally against his own country. It's wild. But yeah, everything's good, man. Claws of the Eagle, when you antediluvian boomers. Yeah, that was Dev.
Blame
To be
Dad.
fair, that wasn't actually
It's the
Dev. Dev is
snow.
having like
Yes, it
intermittent
was.
power issues. It's a snowstorm. He can't
don't
help the
care.
power being out.
It was Dad's fault.
Not my
It was
problem.
Dev's fault. Yeah, it was Dev.
Yeah, literally cyber harass Dev. No, don't. Jesus, no, YouTube. I was joking. He's a
Yeah. Call him a fucking leaf if you see him.
Day of the Rake. The world will look up and shout, "Save us!" And I'll say, and then next super chat, the N word.
Oh,
That's great.
that reminds me. Did you see that Charles Murray basically put out some sort of like ultimatum that he was going to leave Twitter in like 61 days? They quote tweeted him. He's going to say the N word in 61 days. Charles Murray's finally going to do it.
No. Oh,
It's freeing, Charles. Just do it once.
I've had enough about the Necrons.
no. Forever after that point, your life will be measured in before the N word and after the N word.
Years and years of defamation against this character for talking about IQ, and he's finally going to do it. He's past the point. He's past the point of concern anymore. He doesn't care.
It's only one chapter in his book as well. He's got an entire book about like systematic disadvantages because of IQ. And then, one of them is addressing like race, and suddenly it's like, no, you're fucked. You can talk about it in every other way. That's it. You're dead.
He's not verified, which is weird.
Hmm.
He's as bad as Richard Spencer. He's a
Is it
libertarian,
weird?
isn't he?
He's like I guess. I mean,
Libertarian,
he's
that's
more
worse than a
moderate that.
Nazi.
So are we going to approach the fake news that Trump has been putting out yet? Or...
We can. Let me just screen share something on the screen quickly.
What do they call it? They have a word that they call these images. What are they?
Doctor.
Deep fake.
No, not
Doctored.
deep fake.
Doctor.
Doctor, that's it.
This is what the New York Times said. Donald Trump posted this picture that you can see on the screen of himself as Rocky Balboa, and the New York Times called it a doctored image.
Nigga, it's a meme.
Yeah.
It's a meme, my dude.
And they literally said it's unclear why he did this. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? This is hilarious.
Do you remember when they fact-checked the dog when he photoshopped himself
Yeah.
putting the
Yeah,
medal on
man.
that hero dog?
Richard Lewis had a great video about it.
They fact-checked a meme about a dog, and now they're fact-checking a meme about Rocky because it's like what, the 40th anniversary of the first Rocky?
Wait a second. I don't
I've
think
seen
this
it-
is an
I've
actual
seen-
photograph.
3 articles that came out like an hour after he tweeted the
Yeah.
image. Just fact checking a meme.
Fake news, guys.
Again,
checking.
Trump's trying to convince you he is late 60s era Rocky. It's not true, guys.
But what facts are we even checking here? Like, you know, Donald Trump was not a champion boxer. Oh, really?
Was he a champion? Well, that's where you start. Was he a champion boxer? Is he actually that ripped?
Yeah, is he? You know. But like, what is wrong with these people? It's obviously bait. It's so obviously bait. Like, why would they?
Yeah, but this is their livelihood. Like, we
Yeah.
make YouTube videos, these guys make articles about Trump.
yeah, I think honestly it's monetary driven. The reason they're responding, I think that's mainly it's outrage shit that they can get their own stupid masses to click and people who like Trump to click as well.
Sure, but why not? Why not frame it as a win for you rather than a loss for you? Like, why not say Donald Trump attempts to bait the media by posting silly meme?
You could say that. I don't know why they go the angle that Donald Trump isn't serious enough to be a president. Like that's
They've
the
already tried
angle
that.
I take.
Yeah, they tried that one, didn't work.
But if he's constantly posting memes and the media is responding to it maturely, that would actually have meat to it, wouldn't it? You know.
To answer your question, Sargon, the reason why they don't admit that he's doing what he's doing and they just confront the fact that he's baiting the media is because then they have to admit their complicity in promoting him.
Yeah, they can't admit it's bait because they didn't have to admit all this time they've been taking bait.
I think honestly that it's both sides using one another, and it has been since the beginning, because Trump is ultimately a celebrity president.
Media confirmed Trump supporters. We knew it all along. That's why you give him like God knows how much free coverage that nobody else gets.
So I currently have no idea what's going on in this game though. Who's winning?
Oh, what? The Warhammer.
I'm winning because I'm not.
Yeah.
playing.
I am.
Oh.
I am actually watching.
Well, at the moment we're on the same team, and at the moment we're just trying to survive against the fucking neutrals on the map.
The
Okay.
fucking
That's
centrists.
distortion of the reality there.
Yeah.
What has actually happened is that I have come in to save Sargon's ass for God only knows which time.
Well, I did have 3 Castellan robots like next to my HQ. Like,
The goddamn neutral.
Minor unimportant details.
yeah. Andrew Levin just said, anyone catch the debate between Shoe and Sticks? No. What,
No.
when-
No.
Sticks?
Yeah, when was this?
Really?
Like, when did that happen? I've not heard of that. So,
I didn't hear about this either.
no, I'll have to look that up afterwards.
I sent you a tweet by Jeremy Corbyn.
Oh, good, thank you. That's what I love to have. Tweets by Jeremy Corbyn. Oh, fucking hell. We'll send Trump 500 million a week. Okay, Jesus. Well,
But-
I mean, they say they've got evidence, so
No, they have evidence that they were looking towards negotiating directly with the US drug companies to make cancer drugs cheaper. Because,
Oh,
you know, that's where most of the US, that's where most of the drug intellectual property comes from. Like how Corbyn talks about, oh, we're going to nationalize all of this. We're going to take on these drug companies. It's like, no, you're not. None of these companies are based in your country. The intellectual property exists outside of your country. You can't nationalize these companies. You can't nationalize these drugs. They will just cut you off. They will say no.
Cuts to Jeremy Corbyn with glowing eyes, and the British flag starts flying behind him. I don't know what. Like, Jeremy, is this imperialism now? But so this is the thing. Like, the way I'm looking at it is that the US drug companies are thinking, well, this is a massive market that we're going to have, like, effectively a monopoly on supplying. So why can't we get a good deal for the exclusive access? You know, what they'll have for their drugs. What prevents that?
Well, Sargon, allow me to ask you another question in response to that. Why hasn't your incredibly strong position against the EU resulted in a Brexit yet?
Oh, well, that's because of our own parliament trying to sabotage us.
Precisely. Retardation is the answer.
I suppose that is always an answer that I was overlooking, because
maybe your politicians are just holding out for the fucking wave of money coming from the pharmaceutical companies.
Counter argument to that, Arch. I don't think Parliament has to be involved in that trade deal. I think the government can do that without Parliament.
Yes,
still
they
the government
can.
though.
Yeah, but the government wants, like, to be aggressive with Britain's position. The people they've appointed as advisors around Theresa May were really quite aggressive, like David Davis, Dominic Raab, people like that. These are very, proper patriot types who are like, fuck the EU,
Well, we are only in this situation because of what Theresa May did.
Yeah.
She
overrode them all.
The 2017. Yeah, she basically lost the 2017 election and created a parliament situation where we couldn't get anything done.
Yeah.
So hopefully, polling-wise, this is looking like we could end up with a proper Conservative majority, and a lot of the pro-EU Conservative MPs have been yeeted out of the party.
Yeah. They all got yeeted when they defected and put Boris in a weak position. But now he's looking to, like, I saw a prediction earlier, something like 366 seats the Conservatives
Yeah, it's going
could
to be
get.
a landslide.
Fuck, man. It's going to, like, Labour are just going to get absolutely crushed.
What's the number for a majority to establish?
303 or something, is it?
I'm not actually sure.
I think it's just over 300.
What I mean by that is a number where you don't have to enter into a coalition.
Yeah. I know. I should know this.
Because they did up the number of MPs a little while ago, didn't they?
Yeah.
It's weirdly hard to find this. It's just talked about the current majority in Parliament.
Yeah. It's really.
Anyone in the chat know? Anyone in the chat?
I'm sure it's only like 301 or something.
Yeah, it's.
Although now 326, is that it? Now I don't know. Now I'm called upon to ask. I actually don't know. 326 seats, right? Okay.
Wait a second.
Right. According to the 2017 one, 326 seats were required for. For a thing. So.
Do you think the media is going to fact check this Jeremy Corbyn meme?
Which one? What the 500 million one? Yeah, that's a good question. Because they haven't really. Apparently, the Labour Party have got quote unquote evidence that Boris Johnson is going to quote sell off the NHS. Now, I don't know what that means.
No. You misunderstand. I mean, are they going to fact check like a Trump tweet where they are trying to confirm whether or not this blue bus was at this landfill with Boris Johnson and Jacob Rees-Mogg standing in front of a camera?
Good point. They weren't. That's weird. Yeah, weird that they wouldn't do that, isn't it?
I have to say to Boris and the Conservatives, I mean, you might want to sell it now before it collapses and it's worthless.
Yeah, maybe Trump can. Trump's a businessman. Maybe he can help you out.
Yeah.
Maybe he can make some deals. God knows we need it.
So I need to get through some of the super chats.
Some drug deals?
There have been quite a few, and I don't want to miss any of them. Norway reparations for Viking slavery and conquests? About fucking time, baby. Arch, in fact, that reminds me, I need to speak to you. Stop oppressing my people, Arch. Historical reparations, Arch.
We did not oppress you. We gave you half your fucking language. You should be paying us.
That's the problem. I mean, look what you've done to Yorkshire and
no,
Geordie land.
They didn't give it to us. Tell them you stole it.
Newcastle upon Tyne, man. You couldn't. They probably speak the original Norwegian. Islam
that
just needs
sounds
to.
great.
Well, yeah, okay. If you're Norwegian, but I'm not. Hi Rags, hail Boris Don.
Hello.
Islam just needs to undergo a reformation as Christianity did. Newsflash: just being brown doesn't mean you're automatically the good guys. Labour don't agree with that. That's probably racism.
Imagine saying that just because you're brown, that doesn't mean you're good. Well, then what else is there?
Are you saying that some brown people might be the bad guys?
Oh my goodness.
Well,
If you
you
can't
take
tell
a-
who's good by how they look, then what are you supposed to use? I don't, listen to yourself.
Where's your
metric
race
put-
manifesto, you fucking
Oh,
racists?
my goodness.
I
gracious.
have one. I have a race
Come on,
what is
Louis.
it? Manifesto. It's the crime stats. We just open up the crime stats.
I thought your race manifesto was having yellow fever, Louis.
Well, that's part of it.
Louis, that's a terrible thing to say. I thought you were going to go on about your bloody racial merger between us and Chinese.
No, I was gonna say let's crack open those crime stats. You know what's great about the crime stats is that it doesn't really matter which urban center. It doesn't really matter whether it's city or if it's state or if it's federal.
How dare
Pretty
you,
much
Louis?
the same.
How dare you? How
If
dare
this
you
was
besmirch
Twitter,
those-
I'd probably be banned.
How dare you besmirch those fine urban gentlemen?
Well,
I had
This is the thing,
Yeah,
though.
go on.
Like, unironically, like Louis Levi is just saying something that statistically is actually verifiable from the government statistics, and
That makes
yet
it worse.
Despite
Andy No got banned from Twitter for saying the same thing about like the study on who's killing trans women. Because if you actually just look at the numbers, most of it's black on black crime. So,
yeah.
I mean, like
And,
now
and in
what,
that way,
guys?
I mean, is it really that surprising?
Well, I'm not making any
You
judgments whatsoever
really
because
need
I
to
don't feel
study.
it's safe to do so. And if you do so on my
That-
channel, I'll fucking yeet you.
That's my conclusion. That's the conclusion I'm writing at the end of that study. Is this really all that surprising?
being an expert as I am, I will say the brothers aren't down with that trap dick. So
No.
Okay.
I've known a few black people in my day, and they don't like gays in general. And I'm just stating that as my anecdotal experience.
As
Well,
someone who lives in the South, it is something that I have noticed as well.
One thing that people forget is that the black community is quite a community
Religious.
of faith. Yes.
It's very Southern religious, Presbyterian, Methodist, Baptist, just generally Protestant.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
the
I've-
Abrahamic faiths don't tend to like the people of Lot. So
I also say I've known like two.
And thank you.
Sorry, go on.
Thanks for saying person of Lot instead of Lot person. That's very.
I think it's quite a progressive turn of phrase myself.
I
I
think
agree
it
with
is.
Well,
I don't know,
my-
we need to bring back the phrase sodomite.
Well, I was about to make.
I've
a
seen that
joke.
around a lot actually.
You're gonna take my joke from me. It's to say the black community criticizing the gay community is kind of like Sodom criticizing Gomorrah.
Pastor Louis has got some advice for these communities.
No, that's not what the Bible meant when it said turn the other cheek, okay?
Right. The thing is, though, I mean, what does an Islamic Reformation actually look like? Like, what are we trying to do? Because the Protestant Reformation, like Martin Luther's contention, was Scripture alone. That's the.
I think we all know how it's gonna go.
It's ISIS. That's what it.
I'm
looks
sure
like.
everyone will get along great and there won't be any fighting or
Like,
No,
Wow.
I don't actually think it's ISIS. I think ISIS is the other side, and the side that wins is basically the Saudis. Like the Saudis basically say, okay, these are the reformations. The ISIS rises up and says, no, we want barbarism, and then
dude, the Saudis
X
are
happens.
basically the same, man. There's no.
No, but the Saudis have been slowly reforming as time has gone on from our direction because they want us to continue to do business with them.
Yeah, but that's not like a literal interpretation of Islam. They're
No,
quite
it's not.
generous with it, obviously, but it's still very fundamentalist in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I know
I'm
that
not
they
disagreeing.
are trying to liberalize, but that's
But
like
my point is though is that it
ISIS
would
will
be
complain
like
about that. Yeah,
the Well, the problem is as well is that it's not like Saudi Arabia hasn't been also funding terrorism as time
Well,
has
yeah.
gone on.
But what I mean by
Massively, yes.
like scripture alone, what that means is like then you can't appeal to other moral systems. You have to appeal specifically to the moral system contained within the religion to find out what the correct thing to do is. It's scripture alone that is your decision making guide, right? So that's why the Reformation, because Islam does have quite a lot of stuff in it that's pretty rough, that Christianity actually lacks. It does look like ISIS, man. That's why it keeps producing this stuff. Like the Saudi state was formed by about 150,000 soldiers who were basically just like ISIS back in the 19th century. It's fucking wild, man. It's by a combination of the joining of the House of Saud and Wahhab, this bug-eyed cleric like fucking al-Baghdadi. It's mad.
Yeah. Well, I think that just in general with Islam, the only way it's going to be reformed is you're basically going to have a scholar who's also a strong man.
Yeah.
Because the natural reaction with Islam and maybe Christianity once upon a time, any kind of reformation is going to result in violence, and you need someone that's basically equally a scholar and also a warrior that's willing to engage in violence to put down the revolt.
Right,
All I know.
Hang on, I'm going to go back to the super chats because the chat's like, "Hey, keep going." It's a good point. So yeah, the Reformation of Islam is not happening. Hey, Sargon, hope you're doing well. I am, thanks, man. Does Britain have a written declaration of the separation of church and state? No, our head of state is also the head of the church. Because welcome to inheriting your traditions from the past.
Yeah, we have this thing called the Church of England.
Yeah.
We have bishops and the lords. We have the opposite of separation of church and state.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm surprised they actually asked the question. I thought that was pretty common knowledge.
Yeah, and the funny thing about it is as well, like it's written into like the constitution of the country that the monarch has to be a Protestant, which obviously if you're going to be the head of the Church of England, you kind of have to be. But that'll probably end up getting repealed at some point because of equality legislation, because it's not something that fits under the law.
In
now.
all honesty, in the
we might end up
place
with a Muslim as the head of the Church of England.
I would say honestly in your country at some point the monarch of your country just needs to step in and just needs to start clearing shit out, because that to me is the only
Civil
way it's gonna
war.
happen. No, just
Well,
you
that's what
dissolve Parliament and then the monarch passes the law. That's it. It's a monarchy. I mean, what can I say?
The laws have to be agreed by Parliament. That's the thing.
Not if it's dissolved. It exists, as far
Taps
as I understand the
forehead.
law.
No,
it
no.
exists by the grace of the Queen. Am I wrong?
I mean, technically, but there's no way that would get anywhere. I mean, I like there are bound to be loads of constitutional things that I'm just not aware of. I'd have to go and look this up because I'm no expert on this.
No,
but
yeah.
I'm certain that that's just not.
Can
something
the
they can
Queen
do.
dissolve courts?
She can dissolve Parliament, yeah, right. That
Well,
is.
I mean courts, the judicial side of the government. Can she
I don't
dissolve
know.
that?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up. That's not something I ever
Because if-
thought that I'd have to
if-
investigate.
Actually,
Can the Queen dissolve the courts? Maybe.
constitutionally, there is more of an override from the courts than there can be from Parliament. Actually, 'Cause
Yes.
the
I mean,
British
what-
law.
The Supreme Court just unsuspended Parliament on the Queen's order. So essentially, no is the answer now. I think the Supreme Court just
Well,
like
that was also a massive overreach, and
Well,
would
I
never
agree. I
hold
mean-
up to actual US constitution, UK constitution. Sorry.
I agree. I get rid of the
And-
Supreme Court, man. I'm totally for it. But I mean, I like the idea of using the Queen as that kind of like safeguard. That would be a good idea. But like, I don't know if it can happen. I would be very surprised if it was
Activate
possible.
the Queen.
Well, I think it honestly should happen so long as the cause and the outcome is getting rid of, the Tony Blairite policy that I'm sure you have a better knowledge of that is causing a lot of these problems.
Oh yeah, there are loads of Tony Blair's policies that are still in place. That are
And it
fucking up the
seems
country.
conservative, Labor, whatever, Lib Dem, whatever, no one's
Yeah.
willing to get rid of them.
No, they're not. Immigration will be the next one because the reason that everything's falling apart is because of mass immigration. It's just
Sure.
gone for too long, too far, and no one is willing to touch it.
Well, let's say something happened where there was a crisis where the Queen basically stepped up and
Yeah.
went against Parliament. and it was a serious, question of authority, which is the righteous authority, the true authority. In your country, how many people do you think actually would side with Parliament?
It depends on the issue. I think this could conceivably happen if Parliament goes so far against the will of the people that the monarch has to step in and do something to
Yeah.
basically stop a revolt from happening. But I think
Yeah.
we're quite far from that, to be honest. I think Boris is righting the ship to some degree,
Sure.
and he's saying things that are actually relatively popular. But I think we're going around in circles now. So, super chat time.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, honestly, I mean, I don't know. Like, how would people take it? I think a lot of people would agree, because I mean, Parliament at the moment is phenomenally unpopular. As an
I
institution.
think I obviously don't know the country, but I would say that a considerable amount of people, probably the majority.
As someone who doesn't live here and doesn't know the political situation,
Yes.
I would say.
Well, it's just
Well, no, even I would be like, well, from what I understand, I bet a lot of people would essentially see this as a reset button of a kind, and
Yeah.
I think a lot of people might be willing to roll the dice and try something just so it's different.
Honestly, I'm
think if
starting
the- I think if
to. I think that's true, and I think that with what's happened with Boris as well, polling shows that the majority of the public are aware that it's Parliament that's fucking everything up.
Right, and so my point is that I think that if it was put to a question, a very serious question, I think most people, if not just an outright majority, would side with the monarchy itself.
Let me
Like I said,
Google this. Second.
It depends on the issue, I think. It depends on if it was a popular issue or not. Because if it was an unpopular issue, I don't think that's the
And
thing.
before political parties tell us that the Queen is a poor, oppressed minority woman.
I think the thing is that if the current Parliament tries to pull some shenanigans, and basically we end up with Article 50 being revoked, I think there'll be a large push for the Queen to dissolve Parliament literally, like an acid, because people are really sick of Parliament shit.
What's the name of the royal that's married to the American?
Is it
What do you mean,
Harry?
Harry?
Yeah.
Yes, Prince Harry.
Harry.
Is he next in line to take the throne?
No,
Oh God!
William
If he ever has to take the throne, they'll probably make him take a DNA test because there's a lot of rumors about his mother and a rugby player, if you remember.
Okay.
Well,
He's the
it's-
spitting fucking image.
Yeah, it's only because he looks exactly fucking like him.
My point is though, with him, he would be the person I would fear to take the throne because he's a
Yeah.
fucking multicultural globalist retard, and his wife, you should deport
Yeah.
her.
No, well,
He's also
we can't just deport someone.
people joke
'Cause
that
they're
Diana was a
American.
bit of a naughty girl. He is quite possibly a bastard, quite literally.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just speaking to like his politics. I can't really speak to his heritage, but his
Yeah,
politics
obviously his
suck dick,
politics suck.
and his wife is an empty-headed whore.
Nobody likes her in this country, though. That's the thing.
Tell us
Tell
how
us
you
how
really feel,
No, go look it up. Go read some of her opinions. She's a
don't
straight
know.
up fucking retard.
Is she an
Oh,
SJW?
no, it was the horror bit
Yeah.
that caught us off guard, not
Massively.
the retard bit.
Yeah, just. I mean.
Oh,
like-
fucking Louis over there.
Change my mind.
Louis over there, like patrolling the femoids.
Somebody has to.
These
Silence
holes.
femoid.
You weren't doing it, Scrump.
What do you mean? I'm always patrolling the foids.
Harry's fifth in line, according to the chat.
Oh, is he fifth? Christ, I didn't realize it was that
No,
far
someone's
down.
saying sixth.
Oh god. Well, okay, he's not next. Good
He's
enough.
not first, second, or third, so all right.
Can you do a video about the Germanification of British culture in the Victorian century, as seen with the reforms made by Victoria's husband and the counterculture to this around 1900? If I had some time, I mean, I would have to investigate to see if I agree with your premise, but I could see it being possibly true. So I could look it up, but unfortunately, I just don't have spare time at the moment. But if anyone else wants to do it, I'm definitely interested in watching.
I think there was a bit of a Germanification, but I also think it was relatively benign, and a lot of stuff we would consider Germanified now, people quite like.
Is Germanification ever benign, Scrump?
Well, yeah, back in the 19th century when Germany was fucking based. I mean, they still had the Prussian tradition then.
That's the problem. Ethan Rumley, all Crusades. Yes, indeed. It is all. If they're just, if anyone wasn't sure.
And you said earlier about a culture that hates itself. Yeah, we'll just
Yeah.
end up as Germany. Modern Germany is.
Yeah,
what
I
you
don't want
get
to
when
end
a
up like
culture hates
that. I like my culture.
I'm not really sure. Like, that Sweden, like, who is it? Angry Foreigner? Is that the Swedish
Yeah,
guy?
yeah,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that self-hatred is just bullshit theatrics. Like, it's not real. It's like
yeah. But
it's virtue signaling. It's
in
not
Europe, a lot of
Performative, I
it's
agree.
no. In Europe, a lot of it's
Yes.
unironic though. In
Okay,
Europe,
Yeah, no,
maybe
the
so.
Swedes are genuinely stupid.
yeah.
I
No,
don't know.
honestly,
I
it
have to
really
take
is.
his word for it. I think that there's a lot of truth to the idea that, like, some of it is legitimate, like, self-hatred, but I think that a decent portion of it is just performance.
Yeah, but
I think it's
like,
bullshit.
let me like in Europe generally, I think it's a lot more credible than you think because like you can tell that there's like an emotional revulsion when talking about a love of self when you're dealing with these people. Like if you were to ask them, why they don't fly the English flag, they would naturally flinch of it and say, oh no, that's weird. It would be an emotional reaction that you'd see from them, and that's the problem. They've been kind of taught to hate themselves. It's kind of awful.
It is also that we have a very strong reaction against anything that could be conceived as nationalism.
Yeah.
It is literally illegal
Well,
to
that's what
fly
it
a
is.
flag most days of the year.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Yep, that's how bad it is.
That's
Yeah.
fucked up. That's in where?
In Europe,
It's
generally.
even in Norway. Like you're not supposed to fly a flag. You can fly a flag pennant, but the flag is only supposed to be put up on holidays or what was the wording? I think occasions of importance. So birthdays, for example.
Oh my God. Here you can't turn around without seeing an American flag over here.
Yeah, I used to find it
Prudence.
really obnoxious, but I actually love it now.
Yeah, I would say that in the United States, to try to stave off some of the encroaching communism that's in this country,
Yeah.
there should be a tax break for flying an American flag.
Right.
The only
Oh, yeah.
problem,
Unironic.
Really?
Well, why couldn't Trump do that? That'd be
you could.
hilarious.
Well, it would be a matter of how does the state confirm that you're doing it. It would just be a matter of means of how they actually test that you're actually doing
But
it. But
the thing is, if it doesn't matter, because if the whole thing is essentially a trick to get people to be pro-American flags, people would do it because they wouldn't want their neighbor taking a photo and dobbing them in, right?
I actually talked about this with my father, and the idea we came up with is paying like a tax-deductible flagpole. Like you erect a flagpole and the cost.
The good old erection tax break, yes.
Yeah, you get a tax break on the cost for that. It goes into it factors into your taxes.
Right.
You make flags tax deductible.
Yeah.
'Cause, I
Or
mean,
there's no sales tax on a flag, something like that.
What
that
about the
would
people who are burning
genuinely-
them, though?
That would genuinely be funny as well, because the communists would virtue signal to one another by putting up flags of communist stuff. And it'd be like, fucking hell, imagine if
That's
one
fine.
of the... Yeah, no, exactly. That's fine. But man, your neighbors are going to see outside of your house a giant fucking Soviet flag.
No, that's fine.
Like, no, but that's great. That's like, God,
No, it
this is a
it fine.
communist.
Because now we all know who you are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I know where my
Uh,
kids aren't trick or treating next year.
Yeah, right. Like, fucking. Oh, this I think that's a genius.
Reverse
in a
psychology.
working class. Oh, speaking of communists, we haven't discussed the recent Hassan controversy, have we?
Oh my god,
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Okay,
What
go on.
now?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Louis, are you aware of this?
No.
Are you aware of the? All right, well,
You'll
this
enjoy
is Hassan Piker, the socialist benefiting from the nepotism of his uncle. So Hassan, there was a big thread. Let me see if I gotta scroll up and find it here.
Yeah,
real
yeah, it
quick.
was you posted it in here. The
I
cliff
found
notes
it.
are whilst
Here
Rags
we
is
go.
finding the
Copy
link
link.
is that
It is
Hassan
right there
Piker
for you.
offered to hire someone as an editor and basically strung them along and got free work out of them. He exploited a work.
Yeah,
a
Hassan
socialist.
Piker
Oh my
exploited the
God.
working class, if you can believe that. No socialist would ever exploit the working class. I don't.
And he
Can't
took to
believe
Twitter to say, well, no, I'm this video isn't monetized or something, so I'm not making any money. It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
but
Oh
just
no,
some
that
weasel out of
makes
it.
a difference.
Yeah.
That makes a difference.
yeah, but it's also like, yeah, but it is still, you do still make money from, your channel. You just don't make it directly off ads, but you do it off like t-shirt sales and building your brand and all this stuff. And you got this guy to help you do that for free, string
it's
him
the
along.
principle, not just the monetary value.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
his
I-
reputation is already shit. So is it
That is
really gonna
true.
hurt him?
But I will say, in fairness, part of it is on the editor guy. I will put part of it on him for not confirming that he gets paid and stuff like that, and actually doing
Yeah.
the job. But Hassan is absolutely being very, very scummy here. He knows exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
He knew he was getting lots of free work done from a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very mad.
Well, it's also
Old
a case that
Hassan.
So what you're saying is you need to have good capitalist principles of not being exploited to work with these hardcore socialists.
Yep.
Hassan confirmed
Big-
actually worse than Donald Trump.
Big thunk. The
Yeah, Donald
biggest
Trump,
thunk.
say what you want. He's a job creator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not, Hassan. Yeah, right. Okay, next one. Sargon, will you be recruiting a climate apprentice? Yes, but it's Piers Corbyn, and he says everything's fine. Don't worry about it. And I'm going to get shit for that. And I'm literally just going to answer with, well, I'm just doing it for convenience. What's your opinion on the controversial Danish politician Rasmus Paludan and his hardline party with their Quran burnings to Muslim neighborhoods? I saw one of these briefly on Twitter where Mehdi Hassan was essentially metaphorically sucking off the Muslim who attacked this guy who was burning a Quran. I think that's what it was, but I don't know anything about it. Like, what's going on?
He's a very good lad. No,
Mhm.
he's been fucking insane.
What's he said?
He not only wants us to stop immigration to Denmark, he wishes to actively expel those who have come to Denmark. All Muslims, just yeet.
How's he doing in the polls?
Not amazingly. He did get a seat in their parliament, I believe.
Oh my.
But not by like a huge amount or anything. I think he's the only representative of a party, though I could be wrong. I haven't looked into it that closely.
Fucking hell, right. So he just happened. So he won a seat into the parliament because, like, that wouldn't happen here. I don't think. I don't think that. I like Tommy couldn't get elected.
He did,
and
win a
Tommy
seat.
isn't even saying that. He's not saying anything nearly that fucking wild either. Just to be clear.
Well, it's not. He has basically made a brand for himself, saying some pretty spicy shit, like wrapping the Quran in bacon and then burning it in public. And since Denmark is a based country, they provided police protection to him. Like, yeah, no, we know the Muslims are going to try something.
Good.
Jesus,
Good.
yeah, that is based as
A waste
fuck.
of bacon.
It is.
No,
Oh, I think they ate it
That's
afterwards,
only a
so don't
waste
worry.
of bacon if you don't eat it afterwards.
I'm gonna say you should have wrapped the
Quran
Quran in
cooked bacon.
To
Yeah,
me, it's forcing
Now
the
at
issue
Denny's.
one.
That's now a
and if it's-
Danish menu item. Sorry.
It's forcing the issue one, and two.
Yeah.
It's a very small part. It's like a thread in what should be a tapestry of social pressure for conformity, integration.
Yeah, the Labour Party actually want to essentially build a wall to protect the Muslims from the British. In that race manifesto, that's what they're talking about there. They literally say
I can-
their cultures are essentially special and must be protected. That was the
I
message.
can tell you that like little ethno states in a country don't work out well.
Well,
Yeah,
we
I
already
can't
have
see
them.
Yeah,
You ever been to
it's-
Bradford?
Bir-
You ever seen
Birmingham.
the Sharia court?
Birmingham is 30% English children in their schools. 30%, 25% Pakistani, and the rest other immigrant. It's fucking wild, man.
Sure to work out great.
It's not going to cause problems. Everything will be fine. Especially if we focus on dividing them up by race and religion and stuff. That's really where the sweet spot is, Anyway, Arch, I've been rewatching your excellent Siege of Vrak series, and I have a question about the lore. You said that torpedoes can pass through void shields, but artillery shells, which are smaller and slower, cannot. How?
Torpedo shells are considerably quicker than the torpedoes. The torpedoes are ridiculously slow by, void standards.
Right, okay. Louis, take Sargi to task on the loaded question again. No. Rags, you're a massive sexist. Sorry, Rags, you're the sexiest massive. Sorry, I read that the wrong way. Sargon, you're here too, I guess. Oh, thanks very much.
Wait, what did they
Also,
say
hi,
about? What
Rags.
did they say about me?
You're the sexiest massive.
Oh, all right.
That's nice.
I agree, and thank you.
Is
So
it
nice
okay
gotta
for
say it
French or
twice.
Germans to hate themselves? Not really, to be honest. I don't think self-hatred's a good thing at all, ever.
Very bad.
Like, I don't know why I have to say that though. Like, who? I mean, what kind of sick person's like? Yeah, I want these people to have self-hatred. That's weird, man. Self-awareness, fine, but self-hatred, like, you know.
I don't think
So
they're
what you're
particularly
saying is that
self-aware
Germans
either.
hating
But...
themselves is actually correct.
No,
How dare you wish
Not-
self-awareness on people?
not explicitly. No.
It's Germany. I mean, come on.
Oh yeah, there's a super chat there. Shit, Rags, do you? No, Rags, sorry. Arch, do you have any update about the whole Astartes thing? Because people keep talking about it.
Oh,
The
yeah.
last thing I heard was that he was premiering a video, but not Astartes, no, like the hacker was premiering a video.
Oh no, he
So
was
it
actually
is still in the
Astartes.
hacker hands.
He was still actually playing Astartes, wasn't he? Like the full thing.
Yeah, so it does not appear to be back in the hands of its correct owner. He is still working with YouTube support. I've reached out to him. Tons of people have reached out to him. We've provided what help we can, but YouTube is just dragging their fucking feet on the matter for some reason.
Yeah.
I tried to get him in contact over phone with them, so he could, get all of the shit done with. He could talk to them directly and stuff like that. But I was told that due to security reasons, that was literally not possible. So,
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, YouTube's a mess to get things done with them.
What's YouTube security reasons or?
Yes, so they basically said that due to security reasons, both on both parts, so leaking information, etc. I guess they could not talk over the phone like that, which I don't know how the fuck that could be a security breach, but
Okay. Louis, become boomer and guardian of lollies. What up? That's you, Basinski. You're disgusting as well. So I can find a Starship Troopers review to cover on EFAP. Well,
Oh, well.
someone may have already mentioned and suggested that actually.
Yeah,
Sargon,
well,
knockoff sticks is coming from you for you, Milk. Who's knockoff sticks? I don't keep up with the drama much anymore, so I don't.
knockoff sticks. Yeah, I don't know.
I have no idea.
No, I don't know. Who that is,
Knockoff
man.
sticks.
Okay, anyway. Happy Thanksgiving, you filthy tea drinking Britbong. Thanks very much, man. For the many, not the Jew.
Yee.
Labour Party 2019. Hi, Wags.
Hello.
Wags?
Wag. Hello, Wag.
So there was a guy who he had an accent. It was really bad accent, and he called me Wags, and he sounded whenever he said
Oh.
Rags, it sounded like Wags, and so
That's kind of adorable though, because
That
you like
is, yeah, yeah.
a dog as well.
yeah, I see why. I think I might start using that, Wags.
Wags.
Yeah. It sounds like your 9-year-old niece. It's like, hey, you guys watching?
It was IHE's buddy on his podcast. He's terrible. See, he blocked me because somebody else shared one of my PC Master Race memes from years ago. So he blocked me. And I'm like, oh wow, that's something that I want to advertise publicly. Okay.
Imagine
Weird
being a
flex,
console
but
peasant.
alright.
An old but classic meme, and correct.
Old but classic.
But I love the way he calls me Zargon, as in TSR.
Zargon.
Yeah. Get on a stream with the hate mongers of the Toxic Brood, you massive boomer. What is the
We're
Toxic
working on it.
Brood?
You might get what you want before you realize it.
Is that a dare?
Mauricio Duck, happy Thanksgiving. Wait, do I like Thanksgiving? Yeah, no, it's fine.
Turkey
Hi,
Day.
Yeah,
Yay.
I don't care about it. Yeah, but hello, Mauricio. China annexed 3 Holocausts, but Trump's a Nazi. Yeah, it's pretty wild, isn't it? I mean, no one wants to talk about it. Like, what did you guys see the leaked stuff from the camps?
Yes.
Yeah, it was nightmarish.
Yeah, absolutely brutal. It's wild. It's deliberate, like fucking brainwashing.
It's brainwashing and ethnic cleansing.
Yeah,
Yes, I was gonna say it like even to call it torture, I think is like a little bit too generous
Underselling it.
because they are outright killing people.
and starving them, and it's just like it's horrific, and no one cares because it's China.
China
Not
money.
only does nobody care, more countries have endorsed it than have condemned it.
Yeah, yeah, a bunch of like Iran and whatnot, didn't
Yes, yeah,
A bunch
yeah,
of Muslim
yeah.
countries just like, you know what? We might do this with our religious extremists too. Seems to work.
they? Hello, fellow Muslims. Like,
Well, the more obscure like tribes of Islam, like the more obscure offshoot, tend to be seen as heretics
Iran.
anyway.
hmm.
The more
they're just heretics.
obscure examples like Iran.
No, I'm talking about the Uyghurs
The
in China.
Uyghurs.
Yeah, right.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're seen as heretics by people like Iran.
Sure. Well, who isn't a heretic in Islam? Everyone's a heretic.
Well, that's my point. Yeah, they're like, yeah, go for it. Those guys aren't real Muslims. Like, unlike
I mean, can you name 2 Sunni tribes that don't hate each other?
oh god, it gets really granular. Yeah,
Tell
like
me the
there's
name of
parts
Sunni tribe.
the Sunni and the Shias hate each other. The Sunnis and the Sunnis hate each other. Like the Wahhabi Islamists think everyone else isn't pure enough.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, it gets really terrible.
Everyone sucks. The message of
Everyone
Islam.
basically does suck, yeah. Especially if they're Muslim. Wait, what?
It's
No.
kind of the religious message. Like, nobody's good enough. It's like, oh, god damn. Well, I won't even try then. William the Conqueror did nothing wrong. Changed my mind. Lord Arch, can I get you to say in your Viking language, the wolves are coming?
I didn't hear that last part.
Could you say in Norwegian, the wolves are coming?
That's embarrassing. But yes.
Is it?
Ulvene kommer.
Is that what?
The wolves are coming.
That sounded like a really like weird parody. Like
Yeah.
Suddenly became the Swedish chef saying the wolves are coming.
Yep. And what's even worse is we actually have wolves in Norway, and our farmers want to shoot them because they occasionally molest a sheep or two.
Mhm.
And so it's like, well, we have 8 billion sheep and we have 50 wolves. Let's shoot the fucking wolves because they are clearly the problem here.
That sounds like a farmer comes out in the middle of the night. There's like a wolf like gently humping a sheep. It's like, hey, get off him! Get off him! Fucking
And it is a huge fucking thing over here. Like the genuine, like people yelling at each other, like "You're a monster for wanting to shoot the wolves." And the other side, like, "Yeah, but they're molesting our sheepers," and it's just like full on.
The sheep didn't consent.
The wolf
What-
thing is a very sore thing over here.
What if the
Right,
sheep
right.
consents?
The sheep is too dumb to consent.
Yep.
Lulavi
needs a
sheep
legal
expert.
guardian.
I saw the Labour manifesto, so where do you Britbongs want us to airdrop the guns? Well, we have actually got quite a few guns here. The problem is that everyone's resolutely too polite to use them.
Yep.
So, if Destiny doesn't care to gash his gatekeep, his own wife, do you suppose that she makes him handle the cleanup, or did he volunteer for the job? Man, I am not even going to assent to him having a girlfriend if
Well,
this is the
somebody
case.
somebody has to clean up after the bowl. After all.
What, Destiny? Why are you doing this to yourself, man? It's
That's
genuinely
less less gash keeping and more gash upkeep.
But it's like, why? You don't have to do this, surely.
It's weird. It's like, I guess people have the view of their own masculinity, whereas I'm so much of a man that when my
Yeah.
girlfriend sleeps with other guys, she will eventually return to me.
I mean,
Like,
that's pretty
okay.
Chad, Destiny. That's
I
all
mean,
I'm
yeah,
saying.
weird flex, but all right, man.
So I from
Oh,
Destiny's
man.
girlfriends, boyfriends, brothers, second cousins, sister's aunt that Epstein leaked information to Sargon before he didn't kill himself. I didn't hear that. Video of Destiny crying at the Star Wars trailer when.
Ooh,
By the
I-
way, I just saw this a moment ago. It happened while we were streaming. I learned that the script leak that happened recently.
Yep.
It was the person admitted who it was. The person who it was admitted it. It was John Boyega.
What?
Yeah, he admitted to being the one who leaked the script.
Jesus, isn't he like concerned about
On the
any kind
stars,
of-
yeah.
I guess not. I mean,
Like,
if I
his
was playing
career.
Finn, and after the first 2 movies, my character, which was the most lost potential of probably any Star Wars character ever, was being treated like a joke and relegated to the background, I'd be like, you know what? Fuck these guys. Here's a script.
Yeah, but
I don't know why
like,
the reason. I don't know what the reason is. I got to watch the video because it happened during our stream, but I'll go over it with Mahler and
yeah,
we'll see what's up.
you
I
think
think
he'd
that's
be worried about his
hilarious.
career though, man? Like,
After Finn, I don't know.
Yeah, I
He's
don't think
not
it's really
bad- oh,
helping his career.
Well, I don't know. He's not a
Well,
bad actor.
and in
not saying-
Hollywood,
Yeah.
it doesn't have
Yeah.
that stigma, Like he was in Star Wars. Star Wars is good Hollywood as far as they're concerned.
I think a lot of people are just
remember the
trying
guy
to-
who played Anakin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Which
basically
one?
hasn't worked since.
Well, I don't follow like the careers of movie stars or anything.
Look at the Jar Jar Binks guy who was like suicidal.
Yeah.
Was he?
If you get fucked into a role like that, it's not great.
Right, okay.
And again, Finn had some real potential. Like the idea of seeing why a stormtrooper chose to go against not only his training but his brothers. Like he's been raised with these people for God only knows how long. They've been with him since training, and now he's killing them in cold blood. Like that has got to be some gritty fucking shit. But no, it's just I'm a rebel now because
They're
It's
the
yeah,
baddies, Arch.
absolute waste of a character. Could have been extremely interesting to learn about and explore the concept, but no, he's just a goofball, happy guy, and it's useless.
It's more of a waste of an entire series, to be honest. That
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
I like it.
Oh,
I
it's
like
not
it
the
when-
actor's fault. Like,
It's not the
No,
actor's
it's
fault.
The only time in the 2 movies of the trilogy that I found in any way interesting at all at any point was after what is it? Rey gets captured, or she allows herself to get captured, and she's in that like glass coffin, and like basically she looks up at what's his face? Oh, Jesus. Kylo looks up at Kylo, and she has like this cute look to her, and he basically looks down on her, and like they had like it was right before that they were doing like their force flirting thing.
yeah.
That was the only part that I actually cared about. Was like, oh, okay, here's a potential romance. Maybe this will be interesting.
No, wait, no,
Yeah, but there was
no.
never a potential romance. People. It's like people didn't watch the movies who think that these two could be romantic. Like there's absolutely nothing there to even suggest that in the slightest. But people just invent
The movie
this.
was so devoid of anything.
The movie
interesting,
kind
we
of
just latched
implied
onto
it, I
it.
thought.
When
male
I-
plus female,
Yeah.
female,
exactly.
electrocutes male.
I don't
sense-
Clear
think.
courting ritual.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it was set up well. I'm saying that it's the only thing that
Yeah.
actually interested me at all at any point about anything.
Would have
It
been
was
good,
the only
yeah.
thing to see like what kind of relationship would they have in terms of if they actually were attracted to one another and it actually went somewhere.
I can't
That
help
would
but
be
just
like-
feel the answer is a hollow one.
Well, yeah, because they have absolutely no reason to be
Yeah.
interested in. They have no reason to not despise each other with every fiber of their beings.
I mean, he at least has a personality though. Like, but she doesn't
Does
have a
well,
person.
not-
Yeah,
not
he's an
necessarily.
angry nerd.
I guess.
He definitely like he. I mean, I'm not saying it's good, but there's something identifiable. But I have trouble just identifying what her personality is.
They,
No, she didn't
but
have
the,
one.
The
Yeah.
point is that at that point they had actually finally met face to face, and I'm saying like, okay, it's love at first sight. Go. Where do we go from here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They fought each other, and by that point, Kylo had incapacitated Finn. Nothing came of that, by the way. Interesting.
Yep.
Hmm.
She had killed Han Solo in front of her.
Mhm.
He
Doesn't
had,
matter.
Yeah,
It
I
doesn't-
guess
it-
it doesn't matter.
Even in the case that she believed him to be evil, it doesn't like it still doesn't matter to the point of she's attracted to him. Regardless of his actions, she's attracted to him.
Hmm.
Where do we go from there? I'm just saying that it could have been
Sargon,
interesting.
please save us with a super chat or something.
Yeah.
This is giving me brain cancer.
But the guy crying at the Star Wars trailer, like, I mean, it's just this is where we are, man.
Pathetic.
Yeah, this is how pathetic our civilization is generally.
Yeah.
Like, this is
Or- but
actually.
you are a pathetic person. You need to grow
Yeah.
the fuck up.
Well, the problem isn't necessarily that by itself. The problem is that no one is allowed to call that guy a faggot. That's the problem. And bully him out of that behavior.
Well, I
That is
think
the
people would
problem.
be a lot more forgiving if he was being emotional at something for which there was
Yeah,
A
it's
reason?
comedy or
meaningless.
an actual emotion.
Yeah.
He might as well be crying over a bowl of popcorn.
Yes.
It's obvious virtue signaling. Yeah.
I agree. A lot of people give Paul Joseph Watson a lot of shit, but his framing of an issue, one of the main issues being in modern Western culture, being emotional
Those
incontinence.
people
like,
just need more brain food, Louis. They
Yeah,
need
but
more
let me
brain
finish. Let me
force.
finish. Come on.
Sorry.
it's the issue of dealing with emotion, the willingness that we all have, that it's somehow socially acceptable for someone to be like that guy.
Hmm.
That's the
Yeah.
problem. Is that
It's
it
not-
is. It basically is socially acceptable for that guy
Emotional
to behave in that
incontinence.
manner.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not even just like out of the. It's just uncomfortable and straight. It's not
It's
a
not just-
recognizable human
Yeah,
behavior.
But
it's not the
you're-
display of emotion; it's losing yourself. It's just
No, no. I think it's more than that. I think it's just emotion in general. I think that's just the issue. It's just too socially acceptable in general
To
to
have emotions.
Yeah,
Yes.
Louis, no emotions.
It's a bit
No,
far.
no, no.
I don't know.
Let me
I
let me
hear
try
what
and
you're saying,
reinforce
you
that
know.
a little bit. Hang on a sec. I actually agree because like the thing with projecting your emotions out and doing it during any kind of dialogue that could be considered political is that if I don't know you, I don't really care about your emotions in the same way that I know that you don't know me and don't care about my emotions.
I
So-
think there's right ways and wrong ways.
Well,
to,
yeah, but
to
but
be
what I mean
emotional
is
about
like the primary way we should be trying to engage is just from a dispassionate position, and then we can have emotions as secondary considerations because some things might have to be said that might be offensive and might hurt your feelings, but they have to be said, and it would be nice to protect your feelings, but if something has to be said and it hurts your feelings, one triumphs over the other, whether you like it or not.
Well, I think this is one of those issues where I mean, we say it all the time, but contextually, when it came to Eric Butts, no one would have an issue if he was crying with joy over the birth of his son or,
Yeah.
his son's graduate or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fact
I would
it was
have
a
a
Star
problem.
Wars trailer.
I would have a problem with it if he did it in public. That's what I'm saying. I think that
sure
we
you
need to
would.
get back. We need to get back to the point where it is socially unacceptable for a man to cry in public.
All right.
Okay, Boomer.
All right.
No, I love it. I love it. Louis just goes for the most hardline position. Just, you know what? We could have gone that far, but no, we've gone too far already. So now we need to go right to the other side.
I just think that it's fundamentally celebrating weakness.
Yes,
And that's
I agree.
one of the main problems that we have in the West is that we celebrate weakness and we decry strength.
I think like you're right though, Rags. I think the thing is if he was doing it over something that mattered, it'd be a little bit more acceptable.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just the fact that it was over not even a good Star Wars trailer.
It wasn't even good. Right, so all the cucks, seize the means of reproduction. Good advice. Just finished your Cyberpunk 2020 series. It was great. Also, Hail the Lord of Salt. Thank you. Emperor Palpatine 2020, which honestly, at this point, if Palpatine came out and was like, look, we're just going to be normal like we were like 30 years ago, and we're literally, whenever anyone says anything, just be like, fuck you, I don't care, your opinion's shit. Like, this is what we can do, stop immigration, blah, blah, blah. Like, like if someone like that came out, I'd be like, yep, fine, done. Just do sensible things, don't
Yeah,
give a fuck.
he looks a little weird, that robe is odd, but you know what? The man's got some ideas.
Yeah. He seems like he's going to get shit done. Like,
Yeah.
He's already an
He's
emperor.
gonna take us forward.
I fear I'm gonna watch that piece of shit, but I fear just
What, the new Star Wars one? Yeah.
yes, how low they can.
We went over the leaks on one of our recent EFAPs.
I
It
didn't
is
see it.
going to be the worst thing that's ever been.
Yeah, that's the vibe I got, especially from the most recent, the final trailer, the final
It
trailer.
is.
Oh, I haven't seen
final
the final
Uh,
trailer yet.
I also my
It's just
favorite
cringe.
my favorite comment so far about this is privatize men crying after what V said.
Yeah. V's pro privatization at the moment. So privatize
Hmm.
ICE, privatize the police, privatize. I mean, men are privatized actually.
Privatize crying men, yes.
Yeah. Tulsi Gabbard, e-thought in chief. I don't think she's a thought, man.
I don't think that's true. I mean, she
Yeah.
does some questionable e-thought-esque things on Twitter every once in a while,
Oh, like what?
broadcasting or working out.
Oh yeah, she does that on Instagram. But I mean, she's never
That's
underdressed.
Instagram though. That's what people
Instagram
do.
and Twitter.
Yeah, but she's never underdressed, so you could never actually accuse her of
True.
it. It's
True.
just
I'm
an
just.
exercise
It's why I'm
video.
saying S.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be a challenging wink.
Well, not even, but like.
Not even. All right.
Not even.
Glad we're on the same page.
I did say at the beginning, follow her on Instagram. It's worth your time. But no, it like, yeah, she'd be like, well, I'm fully clothed, and it'd be like, yeah, fully clothed in lycra. Okay.
I mean, it's not a bad way to get
No.
donations if that's what she's doing.
She is running a campaign. Anyway,
Pottery.
just remember, if all hope was lost, they wouldn't need their propaganda. Oh, that's a really great point. Actually, that's a really good way of looking at it. That is actually good, because they do spend a lot of time propagandizing people everywhere, so they really must think that there's something in it. Spicy idea. What if someone were to use the N-word, hard R, soft A, or soft A, as their personal pronoun, and then can any of you think of anyone who could pull it off? That would be amusing. I really don't think anyone could pull that off, though.
Huh. But Joker could.
The fact that the Labour manifesto mentions Mauler and EFAP by name is mental. That would be gold. Actually, I would love that. I don't know why I find that so funny. Serious question. Seriously though, I'd love to get it as mentioning Sam Hyde or something.
Say what you cut out there.
I'd love it if it was mentioning Sam Hyde or something. Anyway, serious question. If Labour and the Democrats have major losses in the coming elections, will they reassess their positions? Or will they say, my God, the country is worse than we thought. This requires desperate measures?
Option B.
What do you think?
Yeah, I don't see them backing down.
I don't see them either.
Why?
I think the problem is that a lot of the political parties have dug themselves into a situation where they have got so far into saying, like, the Labour Party especially, say if Labour wins, they've come up with such outlandish policies and they have such whack jobs in charge that they'd basically forge ahead no matter what anyone told them about the disaster it would bring about.
You think they're absolutely impervious to reason at this point?
Oh, well, Corbyn's always been. He couldn't adopt the positions he has whilst not being impervious to reason.
Yeah, I'm not saying I disagree. I'm just asking you as a,
They're activist based too. That they basically live in an echo chamber where everyone tells them that nationalising everything is totally good and not going to bring about another winter of discontent.
I want to see the look on the EU's face when we nationalise the fucking rails under the feet of the German and French companies. To be honest, pro Corbyn, go for it. But no, because I actually agree with that. And Corbyn uses a capitalist argument for that as well, which is really funny. So it's like, weird that the socialist is appealing to the capitalist argument for that.
Okay,
It's convenient.
the problem with the
Yeah.
UK railways is they are basically private industry funded by public money.
Yeah.
They run on public money anyway, so we might as well bring them under full public control because they are proper profit-making businesses.
Yeah.
And have never been so.
And well, sometimes they can be if run well. The Eastern Line was profitable, which is why they privatize this. But they become expensive for the customers, which is us. And if you've only got one option, then you literally can't even appeal to the a competition. So we get fucked, which is why I'm paying 50 quid for 1 hour's worth of journey down to London. I mean, if you just think about it, £50 an hour to travel on this fucking service. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's also
That's
a very
crazy.
uneven service. It takes me almost an hour to get into London. Yet an off-peak ticket for me is about £9.
Yeah, it's wild. But that's because I've literally just got one route I can go on. I can't go on anything else. There's no options. So yeah, Jeremy Corbyn is actually right on that one, but that's only because he's making an argument from capitalism. So interesting. I don't think they're gonna change. I think they're gonna get absolutely crushed and then descend into like Soviet style purging and partisanship.
Yeah.
Like it's already happening. The Labour Party, I think they're aware that a disaster's coming. Look at Tom Watson left, didn't he? And a bunch of other old school Labour MPs are leaving and saying, "Look, I can't."
Going back to the Communist Party.
Yeah. Effectively, yeah. Effectively, what they're saying is, that we can't endorse Jeremy Corbyn because he's so bad. Vote Boris.
Okay.
They're actually endorsing the Tories. Like,
Here's a question for you. Very, very likely Corbyn's going to get crushed in this election. His vote share is going to collapse.
fucking
But-
fingers crossed.
What happens then? Because what happened with Labour is they opened up the floodgates to membership and they got invaded by activists. And now the activists basically control them. So do you see a route that removes Jeremy Corbyn without splitting the party?
Without splitting what? Sorry.
Without splitting the Labour Party?
Hopefully, the people who aren't crazy radicals would just join the Liberal Democrats and they'll become the opposition. Because I mean, like the Liberal Democrats are awful, obviously, but they're awful because of Brexit, you know, and they're actually not as like. I mean, Joe Swinson was on stage going, "Look, we're not socialists. We're actually for capitalism." So like, that's a start. You know, that's a building block start. You know, we both agree on a thing. So right, that's a huge thing compared to like me and the Labour Party, you know, normal people in the Labour Party.
Yeah, they're also massively like social justice warriors too.
They are. They're insufferable regressive leftists, but they're the corporate neoliberal kind of feminism, and that's the kind of feminism we actually want in control because we can attack that on grounds that we can actually defeat it on, and they will have to change their mind. Like the proper communist types, they don't agree with us on what the good common ground is. So even if we win the argument, they'll never recognize that we've won the argument. You know, so
yeah, they will. It's like pigeon chess, but with you get put in a gulag.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. So I don't want those. You know, I'd rather the neoliberal feminists being the opposition rather than the communist feminists being the opposition. Like that's preferable to me. The SJW, sorry, not feminist, but like you know the SJW types. That like so. Hopefully, if Corbyn wipes out. He retires, and then John McDonnell takes over, and the Labour Party just renames itself as the Communist Party. So
That would be interesting.
yeah,
The problem is that the Labour Party has such an inbuilt vote in certain areas that they could literally stop existing and people would still try and vote Labour.
they would. Yeah, but it seems to be a boomer thing. To be honest, I think younger people are a lot less like. No, I've seen a lot of movement between them and the Liberal Democrats. You know.
Well, like I said, there's also a massive habit. There's like 80% Labour seats in London because, like I said,
Yeah.
basically the Muslim candidates is the Labour Party.
Yeah, the Labour Party will probably become like the minority party. I mean, they've just released a race manifesto that's like, we're going to save minorities from everything. So it's like, where else are they going to go?
You know what I've been really enjoying is watching everyone continue to melt down as things get towards more clown world singularity.
Yeah,
Yes.
dude, it totally is, isn't it?
Starting in 2020, Clown World Decade.
Clown
That's
decade.
No, Clown World Decade. That's what it's gonna be.
The honks will never end.
Well, they'll end in a decade. I think that's likely. I think that for the next 10 years, it's gonna be fucking insane.
Yeah, I agree.
It's insane. Yeah,
Eventually, it's gonna burn out. The fire will burn.
Okay,
itself
so
out.
on the subject of insane, let's go for the next thing that I wanted to talk about, and this I'll share the screen again because again, this is just fucking wild, right? Twitter's terms of service explicitly allows pedophiles to discuss attraction towards minors on their platform. Like,
Yeah,
I saw that.
you can't misgender someone, but you can be like, yeah, I'm pro fucking children on Twitter.
LGBTP.
Yeah.
Hey, this is the biggest step that Twitter's made for free speech in a while. You know, take what you can get.
I know, right?
it's like,
this-
wow.
This is like their child exploitation policy.
They finally found the hill they're willing.
Finally, free speech with pedophilia discussions.
It's just like discussions related to child sexual exploitation as a phenomenon or attraction towards minors are permitted, provided they
all
don't promote
things.
or glorify child exploitation in any way. Right.
Also, nudes of minors are allowed if they're artistically done.
Yes. Yeah. In certain instances, artistic depictions of nude minors in a non-sexualized context or setting may be permitted in a limited number of scenarios. Works by internationally renowned artists that feature minors.
Because I remember that naked
Fucking-
chick I saw that one
Um,
time where it wasn't sexual at all.
Hold on. Just one brief second here. So, drawings of children are illegal, but actual nude children, that's okay.
Of course, it's Clown World.
Of course, yeah. It's
Obviously.
Everything's inverse. Everything's upside down. Clown World. welcome
And
to it.
discussion and presumably promotion of the worldview of the minor attracted person as well.
oh yeah, completely
That's-
protected. I mean, it's not like large parts of the LGBT movement were founded by pedophiles, but
Yeah.
it's not like the most renowned people in both, a lot of the trans and gay rights movement. It's not like John Money and shit. What was the other guy's name? There's basically the guy who's considered the father of gay liberation was a massive fucking nonce, and it's really not worked its way out of that side of activism at all. And it's you find it under every fucking rock, like we talked about before with the whole shit. What was that Labour MP's name who got linked to the pedophile information exchange?
Oh, Harriet Harman.
Harriet Harman, yeah.
Yeah.
Back in the 1970s, the pedophile liberation front was a massive part of the LGBT movement. They only got rid of it for PR reasons in the 90s.
So yeah, we're pretty much in clown decade now.
Well,
it's-
starting at the end of the season.
Yeah. The stage is definitely set for some.
My
absolute
take is
fucking
this: we've
lunacy.
always been in clown world. We've only just realized it.
No.
No, this
I
has
don't
definitely
think so.
changed, man.
Yeah.
These things are getting worse. Like actually worse. Wasn't there something else actually I had here? Let me just.
They're getting more on the surface because the
Oh yeah,
internet's
yeah.
letting
No.
it to-
Come on. So here's the next one. HIV positive sperm bank opens
Yep.
in New Zealand.
Oh my
Yep.
god.
Like,
Fucking
how
hell.
is that ethical? And they're like, but you see, and I read through a thing about this earlier.
Actually.
You see, the
Actually-
amount of HIV in the sperm is apparently so small you won't catch it. We're sure of it.
I'll take my chances elsewhere.
Yeah.
It's like, well, they miss one round of antivirals. That's not true. Like they have to constantly monitor the viral load for that. And the whole thing about making HIV, there's a big push as well for making HIV more socially acceptable.
Yeah.
Like saying that, well, if you're on the right medications, you can have unprotected sex with people with HIV. It's like,
You
are
know, that sounds
fucking
like a
mad?
problem that will sort itself out.
I mean, if
think
I
it
were
would-
Destiny, I wouldn't even have unprotected sex with my wife. Like,
What?
I hate to bring it back
Yeah.
to that.
Listen,
know, right?
children are a sexually transmitted disease. Changed my mind.
Well, I have a question that's targeted towards Destiny. We talked about cleanup earlier, but what about preparation? Does Destiny prep the bowl?
He's the fluffer.
honestly, I don't
fluffer.
even think he's allowed to come on the date. So
Oh yeah, he's
just
outside
sat
looking
at
through the
home.
window.
When you say he's not allowed to come on the date.
like accompany the date.
In both senses.
Oh, okay.
yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. Obviously.
If they have to use the house, he has to wait outside. He has a little dog house out there.
I don't know that the going back to the HIV thing though. I think that kind of shit. I mean, it's in New Zealand, but I mean, if that shit was happening in the United States, like I'm pretty sure that would lead to radicalization.
Oh
It's
no,
probably
no, no, no.
happening in California,
Louis,
man.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
sure.
made it. They made it.
No,
legal
it's the first
to...
one. Is I'm joking.
No, they made it legal to knowingly transmit HIV
Right,
in
I-
California.
No,
I'm
they
aware.
reduced it to a misdemeanor.
Same thing.
It's still super stupid.
Yes.
Yeah, you're going in the wrong direction, and I'm
Yes.
suspicious of the reasons that you're even traveling in this direction, even if you are not yet at the end point.
Well,
Like,
it's
what are
probably
you doing
because,
that for?
A
Who are
lot
you
of people
protecting
in
there?
voters, constituents. It's California, after all.
Well, yeah, I suppose so, but that's the point, isn't it? We're here to protect the people who transmit HIV willingly and knowingly.
Right,
Thanks.
also known as Californians.
Yeah, yeah. Why? Why though, Democrats? I just.
If
Oh.
we don't stand up for them, who will?
Yeah, exactly. Who will? Yeah.
God, we also need to talk about Boris wave.
Boris wave.
Yes, yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, I'll get that up. Hang on.
Boris wave.
I thought this was a joke at first, but it's from the official Conservative account. Lo-fi Boris wave beats to get Brexit done.
Yeah, and like it seems to have been really popular. Hang on, let me. Right, yeah.
Fucking Boris
So-
wave. It's not a bad
Yeah,
mix.
yeah.
I will say, I'm getting quite into my Boris wave.
Yeah.
Hang on a sec.
Parliament refused finally to give approval for us to come out on October 31st, which was a great disappointment. We've got to get Brexit done.
Right, I'm just gonna put lo-fi Boris waves in the background, so we can carry on talking now.
The comments are really good on that video, by the way. If you guys have a moment to spare, they're pretty good.
I don't know why they've
Read
turned
'em.
off the like-dislike ratio. That's a real shame because I bet this has got massive like to dislike ratio.
Read them, Rags.
I think I think it's just
Can't
a
be
policy.
a northern train. It's moving, and Boris has found a seat.
Oof.
That's correct, yeah.
Did anyone else accidentally draft a new trade deal after putting this on to study too?
But this has got 263,000 views. It's easily the most popular thing they've done in ages. Because they're really bad generally at social media. The Labour and Conservatives on YouTube.
You just got to get people who understand the changing age. This is that's the thing. You can't like explain to people, like you can't explain to grandma why the meme that you just laughed at of whatever it is funny. You can't explain it. It's just something that you've got to.
What are you doing there, grandson? Why are you flying
why are you
Donald
laughing
Trump?
at that strange sponge with
man.
the face on it?
That last super
That's
chat.
odd. Why is 9/11 funny? That's not funny, that little Billy. Oh god. Boomers though. No, it's good that they're somewhat catching up in the communication war. Because I know
Yeah.
the Conservatives are. Well, to be fair, you're right. All the political parties are terrible at being how
Yeah.
do you do, fellow kids. But at least this was
they're
kind of
awful.
amusing.
Yeah. This is actually like good bands, you know, and like actually something that is a community building thing as well. Like 'cause it's giving them the opportunity to actually shitpost under their video, you know, and stuff like this. So it's like finally they're actually doing something. Like,
The only thing I don't like are the horrendous mirrored textures in the background.
Well, yeah, okay, but like you know, it's kind of memey, which is good.
It is.
Well,
It's
there's
very
a
neat.
one of the comments that pops up first is the day companies put their social media into the hands of young people was the day they won hearts and minds.
Ooh,
That's true. I mean, Wendy's did well with it.
good
The
point.
fast food companies got ahead of the curve.
Yeah, whether or not we could, depending on who it is, we could talk about how cynical they want to do it. But it's definitely an effective strategy for getting young people to be like, "Oh, who put this out? Oh, conservatives put this out. That's interesting. Were they hacked or something?"
Yeah, that's the joke. Is you guys been fucking hacked, and but that's funny. You know, it's all good.
We need-
This comment: labor on suicide watch.
We need to make Movie Bob wave about eugenics.
Right, yeah.
Diabetes wave.
Since you brought it
Bob
up, did
wave.
you want to go through whatever it is you were talking about with
Oh,
Bob on
we-
Twitter?
Are we gonna do some Movie Bob watch?
Yes, we can do some movie Bob watch.
Boo.
Have I segued us into Movie Bob?
I do
No,
love movie Bob watch.
Me and Rag were just discussing his video that you went through on EFAP about the Joker and how he has this horrendous editing style of literally going through and cutting out every single pause between words to the point where he cuts off the end of certain words and the beginning of certain words.
Yeah,
Insufferable.
man. If I go back to old videos of mine, I can tell like what I can do in terms of being able to edit stuff, and it's just so much better because generally people learn and improve over time. Movie Bob is just he's plateaued out. I guess he began with this style, and he just hasn't done anything to change it or make it any better. He hasn't improved in any way.
Let me admit something. I used to watch it didn't used to be as bad. I used to watch The Big Picture occasionally. It
I used
wasn't
to
a
be fan,
particularly
man.
Yeah, it wasn't a particularly good show, but I just watch it because sometimes he'd cover interesting, obscure comments between, him making political stuff that I kind of ignored at the time. And he hasn't moved on. Like, he has the exact same content with the exact same assets in the exact same style and quality that he did, like, 9 years ago. And it's
Yeah,
incredibly
if he wasn't-
embarrassing.
If he wasn't attached to The Escapist, he'd be just nobody.
Yep.
He'd just
Well,
be an actual nobody.
That's my opinion of him now. I don't think we should
Yeah.
even
Well,
bother talking.
So what
about
did he
him.
do, by the way?
Well, he's been on the Twitters again, talking about Julian Assange.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. What was
Yeah.
this hot take?
Oh, let me put it this way, because they're saying that Julian Assange's health is very bad,
Yes.
and there's been a bunch of doctors who said he could die in prison.
Yeah.
And his response to that was, and I quote, I don't know, can anyone do a good Bob voice?
No.
Louis,
No,
you
he's
can't do a
kinda-
good Bob voice.
No, I always read his tweets like he's some sort of like fucking either like whiny nerd or some sort of like Batman villain who takes himself well too seriously.
He does sound like a Batman villain.
No, he's just been like, he's like, oh, I'm not sure I could find a violin small enough. Who gets to tell him that, regardless of what Rick Perry says, his pal Trump can't pardon him out of hell? And it's just like,
What
dude,
does he hate Julian Assange so much for?
I know, it's weird that the left turned on him. And
Yeah,
the
it's
reply to
horrible.
that is, it's Trump's Justice Department that's pursuing him, and now he's just being pursued for what can only be defined as journalism. But I guess that's fine. And his reply
Yeah.
to that as, yeah, this is the most edgy fucking part of this. If you, let me post it so you can get it up, because this is just
Yeah.
Christ. It's right in the chat for the up, but he's like,
Right.
the little peroxide Nazi rapist shit decided to help Trump get elected because he had a
What?
hate hard on for Hillary, and it turns out that help is not going to be paid back in kind. Too bad, so sad. When my enemies are turning, yeah, the charges were dropped.
The charges were dropped. Like recently.
Ah.
Doesn't he know this?
Well, I mean, do you think this
Movie
guy
Bob
really
knowing
cares?
things.
I mean, he's going out to call him a Nazi
Yeah.
based on fucking nothing. You think he really cares about anything? He's just someone I don't think is worth talking about.
When my enemies are tearing each other apart, I let them.
You see, Louis. Okay, Movie Bob is a lol cow. We
Sure.
deliver delicious lol milk from him. I don't think it's a case of you ignore him or go away. I think it's a case of he's batshit and hilarious, and he's
Yeah,
becoming
for-
almost like Chris Chan, and he's like a case study of someone being on the internet too long.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I
on
agree.
EFAP, man, he is meme gold. I mean, the amount of pictures that we have of Diabeto are nuts. Like the amount of people have been there must be, if I go to the EFAP chat room or the EFAP memes, there must be, let me scroll up to find them. There's got to be at least half a dozen like high quality proper art Diabeto pictures.
Okay, for those wondering, you decided he was what was he, a supervillain who can control sugar?
He's a super villain. He's like Magneto, but he controls sugar instead. So let me show you some pictures of Diabeto that people have made.
Yes, please.
Is he
Um,
like committing terror attacks against like sugar plantations or something? Is that his state?
As he should.
I'm pulling them up because if I want to move them from one to the other, I need to kind of line them up first and copy paste.
He's also an extremely fascinating like case study on the leftist bubble mindset, in that he created a whole thread here about the fact that he doesn't like that Bernie Sanders called out quote unquote Hollywood as an entity, because apparently saying Hollywood and I quote invokes anti-queer, anti-Semitic, and anti-media / art negativity.
Fucking okay.
Speaking of Hollywood, why would anyone say that? Why would you say it's anti-Semitic?
Well, yeah,
What
are you saying
assumptions
there,
are you making?
Hmm.
Bob? Are you saying that Hollywood's full of Jews, Bob? Gay Jews
Wow.
at that. I mean, he's right, but
I mean,
Well, I don't know
he
about
probably probably would vote Labour. Let's be honest. So
something
Yeah.
Bryan Singer's twink parties, but
okay, right. I don't want to get the stream taken down. Next.
Rags.
no, we need to get the
Oh my
Diabeto
God.
art up. Come on, just one piece of Diabeto art.
Give me a better one than that.
Right, hang on. Right, I'm going past. Arch, do you still believe in calling the empire feudal is more accurate than fascist? I thought
You
Arch
cut
made a
out
strong
again.
case. Arch, is calling the empire feudal rather than fascist more accurate? Basically, is the question. I thought that was a good strong case.
I call the Empire
It
right.
is more accurate, yes, but feudal is not an accurate enough interpretation.
Okay.
But it is more accurate than fascist, that's for sure.
Oh my god, that third one. That third one is incredible with Dick Hamhock, Diabetes, and Mind Blob. That is amazing.
There's a fair amount. There's a fair bunch, man. Diabito's a crowd
See,
winner.
I
And by the
actually-
way, his arch nemesis, just in case you know, his arch nemesis is of course Professor Exercise.
Oh, it kills me every time.
Did I send you the Building a Better Gamer video?
Yes. Yes,
Right.
where it talks about going outside and exercise.
Yeah, right. You need to put that on EFAB. His Building a Better Gamer video. You have to do it.
Building.
tomorrow.
Where is that a movie Bob video?
Yes, it's called Building
Oh,
a Better
God.
Game, and it's incredible.
Oh yeah.
There's some very famous clips from that, where it literally talks about go outside and do some exercise. It's like, Bob,
It's fucking gold. Do it.
See,
Honestly,
I
make it the next
actually-
one. It'll be so good.
I actually like this meme. I actually find it pretty funny, and I actually
This
don't
is
find
great,
the lol aspect of Movie Bob really that funny.
This is from 2011.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, I normally I would say it's too old, but of course it's
No.
movie Bob. He hasn't changed a lick.
I'm just
The thing
thinking
is-
of like. Oh, go ahead.
the thing is, this is pretty typical of the memes and content that Movie Bob is able to create around him accidentally.
Yeah.
He's
Well, this is
said
better
so
than
much-
his stupid opinions on things.
I know, but the thing is, his stupid opinions kind of spark these discussions. He's also like the whole Nazi Bob thing was great too when the whole the
Yeah.
eugenics thing came out.
I
Unironic
remember that.
eugenicist.
I
Yeah.
remember that. Yeah. Well, he just seems an internet addict, as I would term it, and someone that is just in general irrational.
Yeah, but that's less fun.
Well, it's all he is. That's all he does.
Yeah.
Movie
it's
Bob
fun.
doesn't have any self-awareness. He doesn't
Yeah.
he can't imagine looking at himself.
Who can?
Well, it's not
He's
that
not very
harsh.
good with optics.
The thing is, he could look at himself. He just hasn't found the mirror big enough yet.
Oh no.
Right. What's going on with the Starty? Still hacked? Yes. Pull out Tories to win 300. Oh, pull out Tories to win 359 seats. Right. Okay. Yeah. Right. Hang on. That I believe it was released at 10 o'clock, so I should have checked it earlier. I just searched on Twitter Tory poll. Right. The first thing, YouGov is owned by Tory MP, and also blah blah blah. Do you believe YouGov is a Tory party tool? It must have been bad for the Labour Party then, is what you're saying. Like hundreds of retweets. Right, okay, yeah. So just attacking.
Those retweets
I like-
will make the difference.
Well, no, but they're not addressing it. I don't even know what it is. Tories to win a majority of 68. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Lib Dems just make one net gain. Labour lose 44 seats. Brexit Party wins 0 seats according to this the MRP election poll. The accurate predictions for the last one. So
Depressingly, I think they're probably right. Nigel Boy completely squandered his position with the EU elections.
Fuck.
and not just that, but Boris. Yeah, that was where Nigel, that's where he's obviously strongest. But the thing is, Boris is actually like, let's get us out of the European Union, and that's what
Friggin'
people are
Nigel
fucking against.
Farage totally fucked his position and made a clown of himself with his like, oh, I'm gonna hold out and be a wasted vote, and then frickin' all of a sudden a bunch of people that were part of the party just started resigning because they're like, what the fuck are you doing? So basically, he had to go do an about face and go, no. It's like
Yeah.
he's an idiot.
He basically made himself the proud spoiler candidate, and everyone looked at him like, "Why are you deliberately splitting the vote?"
Yeah,
you
and people
retard?"
from his own party started abandoning the
Yeah.
party in droves, so he had to do an about face.
An example of this, I think it was Luton. Let me just have a quick look at the. So it was literally exactly that. The Brexit Party was taking like 20% of the vote, and it's like, so the Labour Party will win this seat because the Brexit Party are standing there, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Here we
Yeah,
go. Leeds East. It was right. So the Conservatives are on 30, Labour on 40, and the Brexit Party are on 23. So it'd be a nice, healthy Conservative majority or Labour.
It's a perfect place to have an electoral pact,
Yeah, that is.
and like and it could have got some, he could have actually got some Brexit Party MPs that way too. But now he's going to get no Brexit Party MPs, and he's basically just winning Labour seats.
And the thing is that annoys me as well is that I unironically would be happy to see Lord Farage appear of the realm like, Sir Farage or something, for your services to Brexit, to getting the country out of the European Union. You spent your entire fucking life campaigning for this, and then we fucking got it. Give that guy a fucking peerage, man. Why not?
I just think he's pissed away any goodwill that he had at this point. I think people are just sick of the Nigel.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
Farage
He
show.
should
I
stand
agree.
back now. He should stand down. But he should be rewarded. For his services to getting this done over the course of his life. It's annoying, man. But anyway.
Maybe he does deserve that, but I think from the position of the Conservatives, like, if I was in their position now, especially after he pulled that whole stunt.
Yeah,
it was
I
like
know,
that
I know.
after pulling it, now I want you to come meet with me. It's like, why in the world would they do you that favor? Like,
Yeah.
all that does is show, even if he did do that, if they had some kind of like public meeting like that, it would just show weakness on the part of Boris Johnson.
Well, yeah, that's why he can't
the
do
party.
it. And he doesn't need to either.
Yes.
So, yeah, sucks, Nige. But I do think he should get something for his services generally. I think it would be very magnanimous for once the Tories have got this giant majority to be like, right, okay, so it looks like they're going to get fucking really weighty punches in the Parliament. I mean, man, I can't wait if that's the case. I honestly can't, because it's going to be fucking glorious. But
well, we've seen recently as well that a lot of polls underrepresent Conservative voting.
Yeah, and like pro-Brexit voting as well, generally. But yeah, so it just looks like they're about to get BTFO'd, and it would be magnanimous for the Tories in that position of strength to,
What you got to hope for
Yeah.
is if the Conservatives win, and they win enough to where they don't have to form a coalition, they just form on their own, and we're in their position of strength in Parliament, is for France or some other nation to do something fucking stupid and antagonize the newly formed government about Brexit.
I wouldn't be that surprised if the French did do that. But Macron's actually quite come to terms with it, I think. I mean, he said multiple times now, like, look, let's just get it over with, just get it done, because we've got other problems. And they're not, because they're tarrying about it, because they think they can
I just
win
think
bigger.
that it would really prod them right after the election to say, like, okay, we have to follow through immediately,
Yeah,
because
but,
now we're even being antagonized.
yeah, but Macron wouldn't antagonize, I don't think. Well, not that I've seen, but I'm not going to rule it out or anything.
I guess the Germans then.
Yeah, even then, the thing is, they all
The
stand.
Germans.
They all stand to lose a lot. Like there's a Confederation of German Industry that endorsed Boris over Corbyn because they thought that Corbyn was going to bugger up the economy, and like they don't want the economy to actually get buggered up because then we can't buy their cars. So they were like, "Bro, go Boris." It's like, okay, Germans, like, but this is the thing. They're not irrational, and they stand to lose a lot if they fuck around. So, you'd think that we could just be sensible about it. But anyway, anyone catch the debate between Shoe and Sticks? No, man. What the hell? What?
It was on Twitter.
Was it?
It was just. Oh, was it Twitter?
Yeah, if it's Twitter, can someone find it and read out what?
Yeah,
happened?
link us that shit.
Is it an actual not like stream debate? Is it just text? Because that
I,
sounds.
Yeah, but if it's
probably
text,
just
we can-
bullshit back and forth.
Twitter drama.
It might be
Nick,
interesting.
please.
No, but it might be
could
an actual
interesting.
debate.
Sticks is involved.
Yeah, and like,
Yeah, but
I,
Shoe's also involved. So.
no, but I like Shoe, and like,
Sorry.
I
Took
think
the words right out of my mouth.
I think they should be able to actually engage him in a political debate, like. On
Oh
Twitter,
man!
like,
Oh,
I
yeah,
was just. Yeah, I was just. Yeah.
I
a
think-
meeting of the minds.
I'm not saying. I don't know. I mean,
Can
I
I
don't
get
know
a
what she
spoon
said.
clank, please?
She might
Can someone
destroy
give me-
him. Who knows?
Can someone give me a spoon clank?
Hey, don't laugh
Yeah, I
until
know,
afterwards.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
I've seen her argue before. I would if I was a betting man, I'd put every penny in Dicks.
But like, okay, so did we find the thread or something?
I'm looking.
I don't know.
I don't see anything. I like it how me and Louis were racing this. I was just being a bit of a dick there. I was just a please.
I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I would absolutely love a debate between the two. Just, I mean, yeah, it'd be
Oh,
interesting.
I might have found it.
Oh yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe so. This
Well,
might be.
I'm gonna head off and get some food, so I'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah,
take
this
it
is
easy.
this is some torturous dead air. I don't blame you, Watch.
Yeah.
If somebody's aware of this on in the chat, can they send it to one of us on Twitter? Send it to me at Louis Levi. Send it to somebody.
Yeah.
So if you want us to look at this shit, just send it to us.
So next one then. Did you see Shapiro's speech about Stanford at Stanford about the Groypers? Nothing but personal attacks. He will lose if
Yes.
Conservative Inc. doesn't tackle immigration.
I
yeah.
saw that. It was an awful speech.
Yeah, the only person who's dealt with the Groypers well has been Michael Knowles, in my opinion.
Maybe so. Charlie, did you see that article that Charlie Kirk wrote for some outlet or another? I have it saved on Twitter.
Didn't he just call
He
Not
totally.
Right?
No, he totally backs down on all of it. He's backed down completely on immigration.
Well, what's he said?
He's pretty much gone against everything that he has been saying about immigration.
Well,
And is
Charlie
now apparently a champion. Yeah, Charlie. And is now apparently a champion of limiting immigration.
Okay. Then the Groypers win.
No,
Well, he
because
was wrong. That's the thing. His
He was
position
wrong.
untenable.
And I don't. Here it is. Fucking Donald Trump Jr. tweeted it out. That's how I have it. I'll put it in the.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is he did
Discord.
an about face. He reached a turning point, is what you're saying.
Yeah, he totally turned around on a whole slew of different things about immigration, and I don't believe him. I don't believe him.
Okay, so clearing the air on the right. Let's see. Let's approach this with a charitable interpretation. The most interesting debates happening today in American political discourse, not between the left and the right, but within the right. We should not shy away from our differences, but embrace the dialogue in good faith, with the understanding that the best ideas and the best leaders will win. The conservative movement will be better off as a result. Okay, well, there's nothing wrong with that, is there?
Yeah, but I'm like, I control F USS Liberty, and I see no mention here. So
No, he doesn't. He doesn't talk about Jews in this, but it's specifically. To
Man, why bother then?
Or sorry, I should say Israel. I should catch my.
Oh no!
Oh, you've just
Disappointing
joined the
day.
Labour Party, Louis. Well
Yeah,
done.
I know. I gotta watch my. But yeah, this is specific to all the criticism. Pretty much, I think it covers all the criticism he's gotten
Really?
about immigration, and he goes through and he does an about face on just about all of it, like that he's formally spoken in favor of.
Yeah, but this is pretty good as a start. When I started Turning Point USA at the age of 18, I was often guilty of applying a purity test when discussing issues or evaluating politicians and activists. For example, if someone wasn't promoting purely free trade solutions to America's problems, I wasn't listening. Over the past 3 years, on this issue and many others, I've changed my mind. And I haven't been alone. Millions of like-minded Americans also changed their mind on issues once considered indisputable conservative doctrine. That's a totally fair start. That's totally fair. As someone who became known as an activist and built a national campus organisation, all while being called too conservative and racist, while getting written up by the Southern Poverty Law Centre's Hate Watch blog, all while being on the receiving end of multiple hit pieces, either directly stating or implying we're bigots, and my organisation traffics in bigotry, it's an admittedly new experience that some are now applying conservative purity tests to me. These tests focus on my support for the President Trump, my stance on immigration, my beliefs about the use of America's military. That's not untrue, though, is it? You know, like, I think, is he not going?
I think it's not necessarily dishonest, but it is derogatory to just refer to purity testing when we're
Well, it
talking
is.
about the destabilization of the United States.
Yeah,
Like this is the single biggest issue that got Donald Trump elected, and to the reason I'm not being generous is that this is the easiest shit to say in the world. This is
Yeah, I
the
suppose.
easiest thing to say.
Yeah,
and to do
this is
nothing
this is baby's first populist position.
okay, well, that's fine. That's a good start, and maybe he'll grow into it.
The problem is, okay, someone apparently just sent me the sticks, but the issue is where I have to agree with the Groypers, or I believe I'm saying that right, the paleo conservatives.
Yeah.
On this is that, in all honesty, with the Trump administration on illegal immigration, they get a pretty good rating, considering the effort that's the administration has gone through to try to tackle that issue. But in terms of legal immigration, this administration, Trump's administration, has been as bad, if not possibly even worse, than the Obama administration. I mean, we are giving out visas left and right, and we're passing new laws where we're giving out even more visas.
Right. Okay. Let me white knight for Rocky Balboa a second. In the chat, I've just put a link to a Vox article. I think this is the one I'm thinking of. But a federal court just blocked Trump's attempt to quietly cut legal immigration by up to 65%. The policy would have made the goals of immigration restrictionists a reality. Oh, guys, I guess we're all immigration restrictionists, which actually makes it sound legitimate, doesn't it?
So
the thing
Trump
is,
tried to lower the amount that we take in every year, and it got blocked.
By 65%. Yeah.
This is specific to chain migration.
Yeah, but the Vox contention with this is that it would have reduced legal immigration by 65%. 375,000 or something like that.
I don't know if that number is correct, but it would eliminate a sizable amount of legal immigration.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
Well,
Trump is actually trying to do that.
I think what the USA wants to do eventually is have more of a points-based system like Australia has.
Well, I think all of that's besides the. I absolutely think that the metric by which we open the floodgates is totally besides the point. Numbers is the issue.
Yep.
That is the long and short, the beginning and end of this entire fucking problem. It is the sheer amount of people coming in.
Well,
and I have to say that the Trump administration, it's maybe not an F rating, but it's near that in terms of what they've been doing in terms of legal immigration.
The problem is that you get this like the activist judges, and you end up fighting a 5-year legal battle for a single small policy.
I'm more than willing to acknowledge that, but at the same time that he's doing this, they're still passing bills into law that are creating even just more problems related to limiting legal immigration.
But I think this is quite a significant step. I mean, they're probably, like you say, overstating the case of how much it's going to cut. But like, at least he's doing something, man. Like, I can't see any other alternatives. Like, no other politicians are like actually going to do something.
Another problem is where the immigration comes from. In that a lot of it, the Democrats have been advocating for is amnesty for basic blanket South American and Mexican immigration. But if you are able to gear your immigration system to accepting immigrants who have the same value system as your country, and how, you know, professionals and are actually useful, then it's still a numbers game, but you end up with a much more cohesive society if you accept people who are going to integrate into that society a lot easier.
I think that it has to do more with the people living here than it does with the people coming in.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that if society here is unwilling to demand conformity, then they will not conform, period.
I agree. Right. They had a Twitter bout yesterday. Heard about it from Mr. Poole. Okay. I didn't hear about that. I'm surprised.
To address something in the chat really quick, the big star that I can give to Trump in his attempts for legal immigration is attempting to deal with the issue of birthright citizenship. That is the credit that he deserves, that they've been trying to do something.
Yeah, they've been trying to get rid of the fucking magic soil doctrine, which is complete.
So that is where he deserves credit. Unfortunately,
so that's two things now.
Yes.
As well as the wall and deportation.
Well, that's specific to illegal immigration.
Yeah, I know.
I want to separate the two because it is a matter of population control and that sort of thing. But I think that legal immigration, because I've been noticing lately that once this whole thing kicked up with the Groypers, that even Steven Crowder, who I did a response video to, he's been including a lot more pro-immigration bullshit in his rhetoric.
Has he?
Yes. And I think that I think honestly the Groypers, I can't speak to all the Jewish nonsense, but on immigration, I think they've hit pay dirt in terms of a problem on the right.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, agreed. But like I said, I also think that the US does need certain levels of immigration, but they need it from westernized countries that with the right language base and skills base and with proper education systems.
Honestly, I think the US just has enough people in it at the moment.
I think obviously things don't work in the we could always build more houses. There's always more, ways in which to accommodate people because so much of our country is privatized. But the real issue, I think, is the amount of people that are coming in, regardless of their background, is leading to the destabilization of the United States.
Yeah.
No,
No, I
I would
agree.
definitely agree with
I
that.
do genuinely think it's just the number at the moment. I mean, there are other problems that do come, but at the moment, it really is just the fact that for the last, since the 90s, we've just had just open.
Since the 60s. Well, maybe there.
Yeah, since the 90s here. I don't know about in America.
In the
when it
United States,
started.
it's been since the 60s.
Right,
And I think that we're kind of reaching the point where things need to slow down.
Yeah.
And I think that one of the things that's driving the left off the cliff is also immigration.
Oh,
Because
totally.
as you can see, it's one of the biggest issues at this.
Yeah, completely. They I mean, they even got Bernie to go full fucking Koch brothers.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, Tucker Carlson is now more like pro-worker than Bernie on the subject of immigration.
The biggest problem that the US seems to have is that if you're persistent, even if you are unskilled, it seems to be that a lot of places like California especially are basically just throwing green cards at people.
Well, it's because they need the labor for their farms and for a variety of different industries.
Yeah,
Like,
Democrats have brought
most-
back slavery.
Most states, pretty much, most states in the union don't really have the same kind of economy that California does, and
No, I'm aware.
It makes sense. Well, I'm just speaking to specifically to California. Like, there's a reason why they like cheap labor, but in other states, all it does is undercut working class men. Like, that's all it is. It's all it does. Like,
It's not just working class men; it's working class women as well. My example is traveling around California. I've been to like 3 or 4 places in California now, a bunch of times, and every time you stay in any hotel anywhere in the same in Texas and Florida actually,
right.
it's always a Mexican woman cleaning a hotel, and that should be a working class woman cleaning the hotel. That's normally the position that's filled.
I had a private conversation with somebody that lives in. I've brought this up a few times, but they were telling me about how like all the landscapers and all that they are aware of out west are all Mexican, so that's a stereotype. And I was like, I don't know any Mexican landscapers. I don't know any. They're all white. And
A lot of ours
it's
are
like,
Polish.
well, that to me, I think to me that just kind of shows you the
I'm not
real
saying-
issue of numbers. That to me is the difference. It's just that in certain parts of countries, or my country or wherever, certain states, it's just the demographics are so much different. But the thing is that in my thing, Tucker Carlson position is, even if we didn't have the numbers, there are people ready to fill those roles. It's not
Right.
true that if you just cut off the spigot, if we stopped, let's say we went full isolation, okay, and we cut off the spigot, people would fill those positions.
Yeah.
The bigger problem you have isn't gardeners and farm laborers. You have enough labor in the US to fill those. You do. The problem that you have, the Democrats managed to ruin, well, actually, Silicon Valley managed to ruin this, was the HB1 visa system. Because what they did was they basically started insourcing Indians. Because your HB1 system was good in principle, in that you have people who are very skilled. And to be fair, the US education system has been so fucked that you have a temporary skills gap that needs to be filled by imported workers. You just do.
I have to concede that you are correct in that one of the problems and one of the direct results of our awful education system has been that, in fact, we have a gap in skills. And so what the companies are doing are lobbying Congress to import labor for the sake of making up for that gap, rather than ever tackling the issue of education, which is not, let's give more funding to the fucking teachers to teach our kids to, hook up with trannies and fucking kill themselves. It's to actually educate them on anything, to give them an education to lead to any kind of future.
Yeah,
And
so
unfortunately,
as someone who works internationally and has been offered jobs in the US before. There is a massive shortage of especially skilled engineers there. It is dire. You can't fill about 30% of engineering jobs in the US.
And honestly, the only solution, well, there's a few, but the solution that I think that would be best served in the United States is the opposite of funding. It's austerity. It's forcing our education systems to choose between socialist nonsense and actually teaching something. And it will serve in that to spur anger and undermine the unions.
Right, I'm going to the next subject.
Okay.
Go for it. Feel free to move on at any time.
I missed your other super chat. Sorry. I apologize. I can't see it. Maybe YouTube ate it because I tried to send a super chat to Friended and PSA Sitch the other day, just some troll super chat, and it just disappeared. I don't know whether they took my money or not.
Yeah,
so,
I've seen that before multiple times. I've had people try and send me and Dev stuff when we've been streaming or premiering, and it just gets eaten by the system.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, maybe it was a bit too spicy. I don't know, but I didn't think it was spicy or too spicy when I sent it. So I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Gas the what, Sagan? What war now? What?
Well, have you noticed that the Antifa types are putting around a lot of Nazis don't deserve rights memes a lot recently?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, I find that very interesting because it's they'll say things like, these jokes are used to normalize it. It's like, yeah, okay, so now I see a jokey meme for you to normalize killing some people. Do I take that as you being like the Nazis? Because it kind of seems
they
like choosing who we do and don't humanize.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly it.
They say that Nazis all deserve to be killed and Nazis shouldn't have rights, and they also say that using a Pepe meme makes you a Nazi. So big thonk there.
Yeah, but I mean, seriously, I saw this one this teenage, well, not teenage, but leftist girl going, yes, Nazis were once children and once basically human. And it doesn't matter. Fuck it, kill them. And it's like this, 10,000 retweets. And it's fucking, how virtuous is that? Oh, I'm against Nazis. Oh, good. And I'm against Nazis to the point where I'll just start killing people. Fucking, all right, calm down. I'm really against Nazis too, but just randomly killing people is probably not a progressive thing.
The thing is, I try and engage them logically. Say, okay, but what if another group of people defines you as a Nazi? They'll be like, well, I'm not a Nazi because I'm right. It's like, yes, but it's a subjective term that you're using subjectively. You're not using it for its actual definition.
No, it's all raw power for them now. But they view it as a way to just kill. I mean, they want to kill off anyone who's pro-Western. If you were to actively resist them. From the pro-Western position, they would say, no, that's Nazi, dead. It's but the Nazis weren't pro-Western.
Nope.
Right, did you catch? Yeah, Superior Speaks. Yeah, okay. Frozen 2 caused more violence in a single day than Joker did in its entire run.
Yep.
Thanks, Disney.
Yeah.
Well, hang on. Are you talking about the Machete Gang?
Yep.
Yeah, the thing is that happened in line to.
Yeah.
They don't know what movie they were going to see actually because it happened in a line. It happened pre anyone buying any tickets.
Yeah, it wasn't about the movie.
I think it was the instigator for that violence was Kathleen Kennedy herself, and I think she should be prosecuted over it.
Deplatformed, definitely. How can we hold Kathleen Kennedy accountable for the damage she's doing to society?
Good old Machete Kennedy, yeah.
Fucking machetes, 2019. Machetes. Not even in London, it's if it was in London, but well, it's London.
Not even a proper AR-15.
To be fair, it was Birmingham, so technically it didn't happen in Britain.
Yeah, but there was a machete. Not untrue. Fact check does not find that to be an untrue statement.
Snopes, please.
Yeah, exactly. Snopes mostly true.
I'll send you the thread. This is the argument apparently that Shuan had with Sticks.
Yeah.
It's really stupid and
I look forward to reading something really stupid.
This is extreme. Oh, I saw this. This is what they're talking about.
Right,
it's Shuan Head saying, "Oh, Bernie Sanders is trying to, the Democrats are trying to prevent him from getting the nomination."
Of course
Six
they are.
says, yes, he's not going to win either way. And June's like, you're wrong. He's not a piece of shit. And she's wrong.
But that doesn't make him popular. That doesn't make him able to win a nomination.
Hmm.
I hope that Bernie Sanders does win. You know why? Because Donald Trump will fucking curb stomp him.
That'd be
And
hilarious.
it will be amazing because everyone will realize that they were wrong. And they are wrong. And I've had this discussion with multiple people saying, Bernie could have won, guys. It's like, no, Bernie is far too far left for the majority of America. He's very, very popular in your coastal... The problem I find is that people have California syndrome. Especially, like, they live in these little liberal enclaves.
Yeah,
Like, wow,
Twitter is the
all
world.
my friends love Bernie. I guess that means that Bernie can win. It's like, okay, look at the raw fucking numbers, you retard.
No, it's not even the raw numbers. It's the Electoral College. That's the only thing that matters.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Those are the raw numbers. It's like, look at the raw numbers.
Right. You just mean nationwide.
Yeah. Look at what the national voting would be. Like,
Yeah,
Sanders would lose worse than Hillary.
I think honestly, if Bernie, because I used to be a Bernie supporter, I think in 2016, if he actually positioned himself to flank Trump on a number of issues, which he could have done based on previously held positions, he probably still would have lost, but he probably would have had a better chance than Hillary.
I'd agree with that, but he would have had to play a perfect game. I also think that he's never come under direct fire from Trump. Trump's always kind of bigged him up because he's a bit of an outsider in the Democrats, and it's embarrassing what happened with them basically fixing the primary, because they did fix that primary.
But when Bernie in the end rolled over for Clinton, that was it. That was it.
I don't know how anyone anywhere who hates Hillary Clinton can support Bernie Sanders.
Right. Well, that's the thing. It shows you that he has no actual authenticity to him. Because if you,
sorry to interrupt. He's shit. I used to be a Bernie. I used to like Bernie too. But let's just jump to the point here. We know where we stand. Because I'm looking at this Real Clear Politics poll that Styx tweeted as a reply to Shu. Because Shu said that he lost because of handpicked super party delegates and DNC fuckery. He's objectively the most popular out of all of them, presumably meaning DNC candidates, when you don't count Biden still striding on name recognition in early polls. And she publishes like this map of like Sanders. Like, yeah, Sanders has got he does have a grassroots base. There's no question of it.
Yeah, but Warren's been he's duking it out with Warren now.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, then this is the thing. Styx says he's constantly behind the delegate count. He's not the most popular candidate, and that's true. Biden is more popular than him, and Warren is almost exactly as she's risen in the polls to match Biden actually, and then sort of sunk back down to match Sanders. But what was interesting is there's a point at like the 28th, 27th of April where Bernie and Biden suddenly diverged. Sanders appears to have lost a big chunk of support, and it looks like it's gone to Biden. And I don't know why. What happened there?
That was probably a debate, I think.
Maybe
April the 27th. Let me do some Google foo. Hang on.
Mine is or no, yeah, actually it is. You're right. April 27th.
Yeah.
That's weird, yeah. No, because the first debate was only in June, so I wonder what that was. I wonder what that massive dip for Sanders, that massive rise.
Okay. I'm trying to compare the two.
Yeah,
Biden, Sanders, and Trump are all in their 70s.
And it was just them. If you look at this close enough, it's just them.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? So I've just Googled it. Let me get it up.
That's weird.
Yeah, isn't that strange?
Because I wouldn't imagine they'd have all that much crossover.
Right, so the Google results, the top one is The Atlantic. Biden, Sanders, and Trump are all in their 70s. And the grey race for the White House. And I guess this was influential or something.
I have no idea. The thing is with these polls that a lot of people think of Sanders as the activist candidate, but they're actually a very small part of the DNC's base.
Mm-hmm.
The real voting is coming from, I hate to say it, boomers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in Boomerville, Sanders and Biden are both seen as nice, relatively safe white men, with Biden being the safer white man and Sanders being the more old-fashioned, quote-unquote, socialist white. And Warren is seen as just reskinned Hillary.
Yes.
She is Hillary with a not even a total conversion model.
Yeah,
What's
I'm like,
weird about Warren is that she doesn't really have all that much boomer support. It's actually like a lot of women in their 30s.
feminist.
Yeah, she's the wine-armed candidate.
Yeah, she is.
I mean, unironically, she is like the candidate of white college-educated women.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That is her main
Childless
support.
white college-educated women.
What childless white college-educated women? Some of the stupidest people in our society.
Well, I don't know about stupidest, but most self-destructive.
Yes. Most
Have you met
unself-aware.
some of those people?
Yeah.
There's some great articles out there about how they don't want to date non-college educated men.
Yeah. Seriously, like wine aunts, go and have babies. Shut the fuck up and go and have babies. You're fucking
They
everything up.
can't.
No, they're in their 30s. They actually still can. They just keep getting
It's like,
abortions.
it's like,
Well, I mean,
wow.
Stop!
technically
No,
they-
seriously, stop getting abortions and go and get married
My
and have
parents
kids.
were in their 30s when they had me, and I'm the oldest of 4.
There you go.
They're more than capable of having kids. So stop it.
Well,
Suck it
the
up and go
problem
marry
is
that
that you're
loser.
telling
They
them.
just set
They-
down
they
that
don't wanna be
solid
told.
bedrock first.
They don't want to be told.
Yeah, that's why I'm telling them. Go get married. I don't care. Jessica Valenti, stop whining at the Guardian and go have a baby. Fuck off.
I love the articles about the fact that they are the last people still single in their friend groups.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
so
Oh, God.
many of them.
Dude, and like I've seen some great progressions. Like I think that being a whore is actually morally acceptable. I
That's
rang
the
in
fa- that's
I
my
rang in the
favorite.
new year with a foursome. Why am I the last person in my friend group who can't find a man? Like I
Because
just
you're a
mind-blowing.
fucking whore, that's why.
yeah, exactly, mind blowing.
Yeah.
I can't
Getting more is
imagine.
fun for a little bit, but you gotta grow out of that.
Well, you've hit the wall now, love. So good
Yeah,
luck.
there's all these articles as well from these far left feminist women who are deriding these older men who date younger women.
Yeah.
Like women in their 30s. You know why those very successful men in their mid to late 30s are dating 22, 23-year-olds? It's because they're not miserable and joyless like you are, and they can also give them children. That is
Give me a baby.
literally it.
The harshness of reality.
You have biologically expired and you are not fun to be around.
Ooh.
Okay, so
That's harsher than you think it is.
hang on.
My
Right. So going through the shoe sticks debate. Next, she says he literally has the most grassroots support, and then Sticks says technically Trump does. It should be clear by now that having an army of nearly broke college kids donating $1 apiece doesn't win you elections. And he says, I think he has more individual donors than Trump, which is 1 million donors, something like that. Also, donating $1 apiece doesn't win you elections. No, but it should be the only way to fund a campaign. Yeah, but we're not talking about shoulds here. We're talking about is. And,
Yep.
you've just conceded his argument.
And yet he still takes corporate money. That's not.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. That's
Trump
really...
said he wouldn't take any corporate money that he does. And then, so Sticks posts the amounts. I haven't checked them. Let me just have a quick look. Bernie raised.
Yeah, Trump has a lot
60
more grassroots support than Bernie does in terms of raw
17
numbers.
Sanders takes PAC money as well.
Yeah, he
Oh,
does.
fucking hell. So, like, Trump's well outraised. So Trump total raised 170.
Yeah, man, Trump's been hauling it in.
100 million more than he
Looks
has.
like I made a safe bet.
Yeah. And then
Oh,
June,
Biden-
but then June says, yeah, he still takes corporate money. I'd take pandering over someone corrupted by special interests. It's like, okay, that may be well true.
I'm sorry, Sargon. We are all actually retarded. Biden launched his campaign on those dates. Like,
Oh, did he?
before-
Oh.
That's weird that it's not the first thing in that
Yeah.
comes up. But yeah, okay, good spot.
Thanks,
on that.
chat.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank you,
chat.
thank you, everyone. Yeah, we're fucking idiots. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, June saying, I'll take pandering over someone corrupted by special interests. It's like, well, I mean,
It doesn't
okay,
matter.
yeah, you'll still take.
We're talking about him being electable.
You're still
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah, and you're still going to lose. That's the thing. It's not.
There's some real goalpost shifting there. It's like, but Sanders has the most support. He objectively doesn't. Well, Sanders has the most grassroots donors. He objectively doesn't.
But he does.
Well,
Trump does take corporate money, which is why he got 100 million more. At least,
Yeah.
hypothetically, I don't think it's going to be.
Oh,
it's gonna be-
I'm sorry.
but-
I'm sorry. Trump did what it took
Yeah.
in reality to win.
But that's the thing. It's like, okay, but that means you're going to get Trump. And he is also the sitting president, which is usually quite
there
an
is
ace in the
not a statistically insignificant chance that just by itself directly helps him. It's called the incumbent advantage, and it's not just like something abstract. Like, it's a real phenomena. Like, people prefer those already in power.
Yeah. The thing is, like, Trump's actually got some wins under his belt.
Yeah.
You know, if he didn't have some wins under his belt, or at least, you know, attempts to at least go in the right direction as well, then it would be really difficult. But man, it just looks like it's a walkover for Trump.
And I can tell you that if he had smart people working for him, even the losses that he suffered, such as, like, you know, the obstruction in the courts, whatnot, it is very easy to turn that into, you know, second term, I'm coming in like a bulldozer.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically make you. The thing is, Trump has managed to make himself look like the embattled outsider whilst being the president.
Mm-hmm.
But he actually is, though.
Yeah,
he is.
That's the thing. Like, he's constantly under siege from the entire media establishment and, like, half of the political wings, so half of the politicians. So it's like, they do seem to be kind of under siege. The same with Brexit, man. You know, Boris is about to smash them all, and yet he's been the one under attack.
It really does scare me some days, like, just waking up and it's like, yeah, this person resigned or out, or this person's, like, who's supposed to be taking orders from the president, but now he's actively working against the president. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, this is in the news. It's fine.
What I find most funny about the quote-unquote Bernie or the Bernie support base is that back in 2016 he was seen as their guy, their candidate. Now a lot of them are saying that he is basically a social democrat boomer and that he's not extreme enough for them.
Well, I mean, correct.
I have seen some of that.
Look what they've said about Obama.
Yeah, Obama's a right winger. He's a conservative.
Yeah,
I saw it
man.
the other day. Obama is a conservative.
To be fair, Obama's policies while in office were basically neocon 2.0.
Yeah, but
Practically.
like, they didn't want to touch it, you know,
Bail out the banks, maintain the status quo, drone strike the children.
Yeah, until it's politically inconvenient and Obama's the one standing in the way. It's like, fucking you, just hacks. Right, okay, so...
Great emphasis on that third point, though. You should...
But yeah, Tim Pool commented at the end going, this is the crossover I didn't know I expected, yeah. The thing is, right, Shu's position is not necessarily a bad position either, right? I can see why
it's
people...
just the wrong one.
Yeah, it's just... Yeah, no, exactly, right?
I know what you mean.
It is wrong, and I think there are definitely fundamental flaws, but it's not like utterly irrational. You know, she's building it on something, but the thing is, it at least cuts out the sort of Hillary wing of the party. Like that's a fucking start, man.
I think if she said, well, I know Bernie doesn't exactly have the most support or the best base, but I will stand with him on principle because I think he's the best candidate, would have been the better thing to say than... Here's why Bernie should actually win if it wasn't for them damn corrupt politics and politicians. It's like, well, he's got to win within the confines of the system he's in. Everyone tried to sabotage Trump anyway, and he still won.
Yeah.
The thing is as well, I haven't seen any as much as, you know, last time when Bernie ran, there was like news every day of shit going on in the background working against him. I haven't seen anything this time around. I haven't seen anything this time around about, the DNC's working against Bernie. Where is it? I haven't read one word about that.
Well, the
They
whole
don't
thing
need
is
to.
Well,
just
that's
a
part of
shit
the
show.
conspiracy, man. That just
But-
proves the conspiracy.
The thing is, he's barely eking out second place sometimes to fucking Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren, who
Yeah.
killed her campaign
And-
before it started.
I think, honestly, based on the different people that I've listened to and the commentary, the reasoning of, and it's growing in terms of opinion, the weakest candidate against Trump may actually be Warren.
Well, I mean, Bernie did actually have a fucking heart attack, so, you know,
Even still.
like, why are we taking Bernie seriously as a candidate? He
And
had a
I'm
heart
pretty-
attack on the fucking trail.
I agree. The thing is that I think what's worse is the fact that we have someone that's like legitimately suffering from dementia who's
You
running
think-
for office, and I'm not even joking.
Well, go on. What's she done that's made shown
No,
that
Joe
she's...
Biden.
Oh, right. I was thinking, Elizabeth Warren's kind of cringy, but she's not that.
No, she's just total cringe and is full of shit.
Yeah.
But and by the way, the thing is that she would lose. That would lose her for sure. Trump would fucking curb stomp her in a debate.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because she can't debate for shit.
He'd come out, call her Pocahontas, and wave around the piece of paper where she used her quote unquote heritage to get like advantages in law school.
Yes,
hell.
He could decimate her
Yeah.
on every issue in a debate, and it would be like, let's say they limit it down to all three of those debates would be like, it would be compared to like Richard Nixon versus
Trail
fucking
of Tears.
JFK. That would be the comparison.
Yeah.
The Trail of Tears.
That's
Oh
what
my God.
that's what it'll be memed
That's
as.
what the debates. would
That's
be.
what the
The
memes will be.
debates- The debates between Biden and
Oh,
Trump
that's
are just
great.
going to be fucking sick.
Trump's gonna walk on stage and offer
gonna
Warren a
be-
blanket.
Premature euthanasia.
Seriously, but
Biden's
Biden
so fucked
forgetting
up.
what cities he's in and stuff like that. Biden, dude, I totally feel you,
Dude,
man.
he's
I've got a bad memory.
forgetting. He's forgetting his own thoughts mid-sentence.
But I do that too. So, you know.
That's probably the best.
I don't
party
think he's
in.
got dementia. I just think he's stupid. It's been like that for decades.
No
he's
way,
not stupid.
no.
I think he's declining.
Dude,
Very noticeably.
go watch his debate against Paul Ryan, back in whatever it was, 2014. 12, whatever.
Yeah, he was probably quite
he-
sharp, wasn't he?
He was nowhere near as bad.
Hmm.
I'm telling you, he legitimately has.
He has always been not the sharpest tool, but I agree. He has degraded.
Yeah,
quite a bit.
he's always been a gaff master, but I'm saying like legitimately in terms of just speaking, he has difficulty speaking now.
I'm sorry, Gaff Matter sounds like some kind of power tool.
Honestly, though, when when he said we need to assault, like when,
Right,
when
right.
women being punched, we need to punch that in the face. It's like
Yes, yeah. We have to keep punching at it and keep
Yeah.
punching at it, and the crowd laughs.
Listen, the
It's
man's
like,
got some ideas. All right.
it's like just okay, Joe. Jesus, this is getting
I'm
quite
telling
serious.
you, like,
Yeah, give domestic violence an Irish kiss.
Yeah, someone beat women like beating women. What were you doing?
sure.
Show domestic violence your pimp hand.
Yeah.
Joe Biden is gonna
We need to
give,
fuck domestic assault.
No, he's
against consent.
he's gonna give domestic violence a black eye.
Yeah. We're gonna show domestic assault who wears the pants in this relationship.
I just like when you're talking about women being beaten, just don't use the word punched as the way to save them. That's all I'm saying, Joe.
No, I'm telling you, he's gone. He's fading mentally,
yeah.
and I legit want him to find it depressing.
First,
It is the equivalent of him saying, "Let's rape the shit out of sexual assault."
We need
Like-
to sniff it.
We're
Sniff
gonna
it
fuck
out.
sexual assault against his consent.
We need
Right.
to sniff out sexual
So,
assaults in America.
let me carry on with these. First, it was Dankula vs. Louis in the Great Lolly debate. Sargon, when are you and Uzlu going to have the Great Incest
You
debate?
cut out.
Yeah, you cut out completely there.
First, it was Dankula versus Louis in the Great Lolly debate. Sargon, when are you and Uzlu going to have the Great Incest debate? You can have
Oh,
Louis mod it.
Jesus.
I already have a fairly firm position against incest, which will now be misrepresented by the Daily Mail as me being pro-incest.
What? You're pro incest?
Exactly.
Yep, Sargon
That's
confirmed
That's
all
exactly
that.
what's going to
I
happen.
can't believe that. Wow.
Wow, I can't believe you're
The truth comes out.
I know. No, but seriously, like I think the argument from the fabric of society is more than strong enough. But what's wrong with it? It's like, yeah, it just degrades everything and is going to increase the number of incestuous children that are conceived. Yeah, but in the act, it's like, that's enough. Maybe I can't find anything wrong in that individual act, other than my own appeal to moral disgust. But when it comes to like the objective thing, and to be honest with you, I've decided that my moral disgust is enough. Like, I just don't like it, and fuck you. And I said that the other day, right? I said that the other day in another one, and I got emails from people going, you're a theocrat. And it's like, well,
Well, the act itself is, I think, debauched enough. I think you can just say that incest is wrong due to the act.
I think an appeal to the integrity and sanctity of the family has to be the
My appeal is pretty simple. If you look at the global statistics of where incest happens the most, you could just say, hey, it's foreign. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's basically an Islamic world thing.
It's foreign. I don't like it. You dimmy. Right.
I don't know,
okay.
Sagan. So what you're saying is it depends on the.
Yeah, you cut out there for me actually. But
Depends
said
on the
it-
area code, man.
Yeah, it depends on the cousin.
depends on the cousin. Yeah. Well, no, actually, not for me. I'm actually quite objective on this. It doesn't depend on the cousin. That's actually Louis' contention. Right. This game looks fun. I'll raise you a cup of sake to your victory. Cheers. Oh, thanks. It is fun. Good to hear from you, Camps Rose. Shu and Sticks debated on Twitter. Brief but good. Yeah. Sticks won, but like she didn't do badly. I've been enjoying her Brainlet channel. You know, she's like basic non SJW leftist.
I forgot. Like, is that the name of her channel? Or are you? Just
Yeah, it's great. It's a great name. I think it's
Okay,
really...
I thought you were just outright insulting her.
No,
Because that is legit in the chat what they were calling her,
Yeah.
and for you to just straight up call her that, I
No.
was about to say,
She
like,
had
damn,
this.
dude.
She had the self-awareness. She had the self-awareness to call it Brainlet. And the thing is, we should all call these like political hot take channels Brainlet, to be honest. You know, because everyone's just giving their fucking knee-jerk, this is my stock opinion reaction. You know,
The
in
thing
all
that
of these.
pisses them off most, I found, is when you call them bread tube. They hate that.
Really? I thought they called
They
themselves
hate
bread tube.
being called bread.
Yeah, I thought they called themselves bread too.
Yeah.
No. They've started to hate, like, when other people call them bread tube, they get quite insulted.
Huh. Okay.
Would they
I didn't
prefer
know
to
that.
be called communists?
Yeah.
I just, the thing is, I don't know. I think a lot of people started using the whole bread tube thing was kind of become like the whole skeptic community thing, and the people started to
Oh.
really hate the label.
Right. I didn't know that. Thanks. That's good news. Good information.
No, I keep hearing jokes about they call it bread tube because you'll end up in a bread line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that's literally what it was about, because that is the thing that they're talking about is how do we get bread?
Considering their beliefs, they should feel lucky they're even being acknowledged.
Yeah, that but that could be a much worse name. Like I think it's
I
a
can
stupid
say-
name, but it's not like as
It's
bad.
really
as-
fucking. It's
Retard
incredibly
tube.
dumb.
Yeah,
Yeah.
retard tube is a lot more accurate.
Downs tube.
Guys, I figured out how to get communism to work. Oh, have you? Who's to say that Islam hasn't had its reformation? Well, yeah, none of us are Islamic scholars. Sticks and Shoe had a Twitter debate about individual donors where he
Maybe-
Trump and Bernie.
well,
Sticks
here's
did a
the
video on
thing.
it, mostly chewing out Shoe's far left fans. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Shoe's joined the sort of bread tube light community. You know, the sort of
Yeah.
like, I'm not for communism, but I am for socialism to a bit.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure
Like-
they won't eat her alive the second she puts a toe out of line.
well, they
That
already
just
hate
doesn't
her.
sound
No,
like
they already
I-
hate
dude,
her. She's,
Good.
I remember when she completely just like threw Lauren Sutton under the bus for no reason.
Yep. Yep.
yeah.
Thanks, you.
So it's still like that kind of like, you know, leftist mentality, I guess. But shoes alright. I like shoes, so you know, I'm happy for to disagree and just be like, okay, well, we disagree.
Then again, does anyone remember that whole shit like when Lauren Sutton quote unquote retired because those cameramen with Rebel Media basically took everyone's money? that was a whole
No,
mess.
didn't she retire out of a bit of a scandal or something?
Yeah, that was it. Basically, Rebel Media and like Milo and a bunch of other people have been employing these camera guys who tried to blackmail everybody,
Right, yeah.
and a lot of people's money just basically got wasted with incompetent media deals, and a bunch of people who were basically scam artists. It was a whole thing. It turns out a lot of people within that community were incredibly incompetent and didn't know how to do money deals. Shockingly, I know internet people not knowing how to deal with real world money.
Yeah.
Um,
We are retarded.
this is
Basically.
why you have handlers.
Yeah,
At
it
least
is.
you have the good sense to have
We're
these.
retarded together.
Yeah. But no, I unironically, do need them because I am retarded.
Ah, yes.
We're right.
And like I don't know, there was that whole shit with Milo just basically embezzling a bunch of fucking money
So-
too. That was great.
Opinion statement.
The next one is actually something that I've wanted to talk about for a while because it's something we're actually going to have to think about doing, right? The Gropers have actually done something quite amusing and quite effective, and essentially there's no reason why we shouldn't adopt that as a tactic for the sort of people who want what we want, right? We should not join the party of the leftists and undermine their ideologies, turn about as fair play comrades. Yeah, we could, but I think what would actually be more useful? There's a lot of like question times and stuff like that going on at the moment. Like, you know, so public, like they're giving the audience a chance to like interrogate the politicians and yell things at them. And it's like, okay, so what we should really sort of organize and just not necessarily organize, but just if you see like a question time style thing or whatever it is, send people down and just ask them like questions like, when does mass immigration stop? Just want to know. Just want to know when it stops. And then they're just going to have to force say, well, never or soon or whatever. You know, they concede that they don't want mass immigration.
We need our own gropers.
Gropers. But we shouldn't
Gropers.
because that's a terrible name.
We need our own gropers.
Yeah.
Joe
Groypers.
Biden?
I don't fucking know.
Well,
Those
our
are
own
the
Joe
fans
Bidens,
of Joe. Yeah, Joe Biden's fans. What to say?
I've always, as a joke, called them the gropers because it always sounds funny to me.
Yeah. But it has been funny watching them. Like they're losing ground now because like Charlie Kirk's not that dumb. So, but like they're losing ground. But like it was genuinely funny watching it. Like, you know,
it's a point.
Yeah.
You need to get people together and press, you know, your political opponents on their weak points.
But basically, if we can get and you know, go in there and tell them you're a Labour supporter, blah blah blah, right? And then when you get the opportunity to ask the question, fucking ask some. I mean, you literally just ask anything. Just like, you know, you have your pre-prepared thing. You're looking at it, it's like, you know, what are we going to do about NHS funding? You go, when can we talk about how Islam is X or whatever, you know?
Sure, just don't bring up the USS Liberty.
Well, no, that won't resonate here. You know, no one will care about that.
I'm just saying for the sake of saying. Can we keep it focused on something pertinent?
Yeah, but like you could talk about any sort of serious issue that we have, and you could frame it in a way that, I mean, they're not going to let you back in. They'll probably escort you out, but you'll have really done some damage because the fact that they'll like be like, no, don't answer, and it'll put them in fear of their own audience, which would be funny.
Yeah, it would. And you know, like if somebody especially asks like really well framed, spicy question, ooh man, that go viral.
Yeah, exactly. The question itself will go everywhere, and that'll be totally worth it.
And if it leads to a lot of publicity and, you know, hullabaloo and all that, it'll just incentivize, just like with gropers, that more people will show up and do the same thing.
Yeah. Be totally worth everyone's time, basically.
Yeah, I think so. Man, the thing is, though, in your country, I don't know, I'd be afraid to go up there and start asking questions about Islam. Probably have one fucking studio members shoot you in the face and everyone clap.
Now you'll get a knock from the police. They'll tell you to check your thing.
Yeah, they unironically will do that, but I still think it might be a necessary and good thing to do is ask a question that they really don't want to have to answer.
I still can't believe that they word for word said that to someone.
What? Islam is not
check
questionable.
His
thinking.
No.
Oh, check his thinking.
Yeah, check the thinking.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's unironically what we do.
My thing would be like if you go to the show, like. You ask a question about Islam. It's like, excuse me, what's your name? My name's Owen Jones.
Right, next one. This is an odd episode of Nazi Vampires. Yeah, thanks, Dev, for not turning up.
Yeah, thanks, Dev.
Thanks, Dev. It's global warming's fault.
Have I seen Kraut's new video that he released today? No, I have not. Let me have a look.
Who watches Kraut? Who the fuck is that?
His China one was amazing.
Just let it go.
Like America's foreign entanglement. Is that the Syria flag? That looks. I love the fact that he uses the country balls as well. I think that's such adorable sort of art style. I think it's really good.
Man, his SEO on his own channel is terrible.
SEO?
If you search Kraut and Tea, you have to scroll down like way far.
Oh yeah. But no, I'll watch that after the stream, which will end fairly soon, actually. Getting ready to farm the salt that will come from the inevitable Tory victory. Dude, fucking mining equipment on standby. I'm telling you, like, oh god, I hope Boris just gets the most glorious fucking majority, just to shove it in their fucking Remainer faces. Listen, you shitting traitors. You know, like, the Guy Verhofstadt at their conference. How can the Liberal Democrats justify that? I fucking hate it. I'm just watching it like, that is unreal. You fucking traitors.
Yeah,
anyway.
unironic.
Yeah, he's the chief fucking coordinator for the European Union.
It's
what
like,
the the enemy.
It's like a legit fifth column.
Yes, it's like an
basically, yes.
open,
Unbelievable.
open fifth column. It's like, okay, get fucked. Anyway,
I watched that and I couldn't believe it. I was
oh,
like, "Jesus."
dude. Again, just don't even get me started. Did you see the JCS criminal psychology YouTube vid on the Prince Andrew interview? Broke down his reaction and body language to each question quite good. I haven't seen that. The Church of England
That was
is
a
the reason...
really awkward interview.
I know, I saw the interview, but I haven't seen the breakdown of it yet. But yeah, I did see the interview. Yeah, like, his responses were fucking awful. Just in every way, in fact. Like, do you
Nah,
regret
he
being
didn't do
friends with Jeffrey
nothing.
Epstein? Is that a hard question to answer, Andrew? Like, do you regret being friends with... Yes, of course I do. I mean, if nothing else, it led to the point where I'm being interrogated for being a pedo on TV. Like, come on, yeah, of course I fucking regret it. What? You could just say it. It's not hard. Like, Christ, man. So, on balance, no. Oh, fucking Diane Abbott. About time, yeah, sorry, man. So, have you heard about the Chinese spy that's broken ranks trying to infiltrate the Australian Parliament? Yes, I haven't looked into it yet, though, but I will.
Oh, the guy who defected.
Yeah.
It's happened like a dozen times this year in the United States, not with like Parliament, obviously, but in terms of Chinese infiltrators being everywhere.
Yeah. But that there was a thing painted on the Polytechnic in Hong Kong, which was under siege very temporarily. That beware of like Chinese government's infiltration. Be aware or be next, basically.
Yeah,
was the thing.
I actually the whole issue of the Chinese in states, I could say that that's actively pushing me towards the position that, you know, as it is now in the United States, the only office an immigrant can't hold is the office of presidency. I think it should just be public office.
Oof.
You have to be a native born if you want to hold a public office.
I mean, I can.
I don't want native born. I would say you'd have to be here for a certain amount of years.
I am definitely disliking Ilhan Omar and people like that, though.
The Chinese spy that spied on Nancy Pelosi, I think it was her driver for like 20 years.
Jesus.
Oh, I guess that just ruins it for everyone else.
And he was an actual, like, legit spy. Like, bona fide Chinese agent.
I mean, that is fucking commitment as well.
I'll look it up.
Yeah. But anyway, I'll go to the next one. Just going to throw it out there. When you join the army, we swear an oath to the Queen and heirs, not Parliament. And most of us love Liz, Harry, and Will. Well, yeah, that's fair. That's a really good point. So, Yanis, Cole, and Mickey might have had an idea. Sorry, say it again, man.
It was Dianne Feinstein,
All right.
who was another senior Democrat. So it wasn't Pelosi, but
Right.
yeah.
Intellectual jihad, thank you, man. If any of the UK's former colonies' parliaments overreach, like here in New Zealand, does the Queen have the power to step in? It's getting crazy here, dude. She's at least titular head. She's the head of state of the Commonwealth, so maybe, but it would be pretty bloody unorthodox. And again, like, I'm not any kind of constitutional expert, so I'm not going to sit here and go, yeah, it definitely is or anything, because I have no idea. But I think that there is something that's going to be in the, in principle, Britannia forever. I'd fly a big old Texas flag. Prohibited to fly English flag because nationalism bad. Unironically flies red hammer and sickle. Yeah, communists. This is the problem. We're all quite open about it these days. It's just the commies. They're fucking everywhere and they're fucking everything up. It's just the fact of it. It's life, isn't it? Apparently.
Commies re.
Thoughts on the Polish 1111? What's up with UKIP? Not much up with UKIP at the moment. It's kind of screwed itself. It could have just been like, fuck everything, we're doing it anyway, and then just been based as fuck, but it's not. Thoughts on the Polish thing? Yeah, it's fine. It was pretty normal stuff, to be honest. It was just, like regular families, just as an Independence Day march from a country that's been oppressed for hundreds of years. So, it kind of makes sense. Like, why wouldn't they do something like this? It'd be weird if they didn't, in fact. And there was, 100,000 people there or something. It really was a lot of people. Hassan just sees the means of production. Yeah, he's not. He's not even a real communist anymore. So, what's your stance on Ishtar being the best goddess in FGO? FGO. I assume that's a game, but I'm I mean, I can. She's. Is she the best goddess in the Sumerian pantheon? I don't know. Depends what the criteria are. But she's all right. She's funny. The Astartes channel is currently streaming, but it's just the hacker trying to get ad revenue during the stream. Seems only enough whining to YouTube makes sense for them to act when this happens. Yeah, it's crazy. You think they'd be a lot more responsive to this kind of thing. Because this makes them look really, really bad.
Like, a bunch of big people have tried to get in contact with them, too.
Yeah. I mean, like, everyone's in unanimity on this. This is fucking awful. You should get this person's channel back ASAP. Like, nobody is in opposition to that statement. Would Sargon do a vid debunking incels? I know he uses the term, but guiding men to self-improvement is very important, and is not offering validation to their decision to leave the game from someone called Based Aussie. Yeah, I agree. I do say don't become an incel, but I don't. I mean, I'm not saying they're not justified or anything like that in being resentful of the way that society's currently treating them. I think they are totally justified in being resentful to the way society's treating them, because they're treating them like fucking scum, which is why Joker's climax was so important. You know, what happens if you cross like mentally ill loner with the society treats them like shit? You get what you fucking deserve. You know, that's true. And it's like, stop fucking treating them like shit. That's just step one, and then we'll talk. But they can't even do that. But anyway, so I'm not going to go on. But you can see this is something that does piss me off. But I'm sure I've said this in plenty of vids. Whoa there, buddy, it's Uyghur. Only we can say Uyghur. Oh, shit, sorry.
Uyghur.
Yeah. China number
My
one.
Uyghur.
What's your opinion on Danny Corks? I've never heard you mention him in any of your videos. I've never heard of this person. CORCZ. Do I know who? I can't say I know who this person is. Sorry. Feminist, social justice advocate, leftist, anarchist. He's a commentator for New Yorker, apparently.
Did any of you guys see War Thunder making the fucking black
War Thunder? No, I didn't.
the
see
video
that.
game?
Yeah. No, I know what War Thunder is, but like,
What is the black meme?
You don't know what the black meme is?
No, what is the black meme?
You get fucked by black guys.
Is that
Google,
what it's called?
Just Google blacked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the meme. I just didn't know it was called the black meme.
Right.
It's a meme in this kind of format.
I guess it's called being blacked. Would that be?
But anyway. My university is knowingly working with a Chinese firm that is involved in the persecution of Uyghur Muslims. I don't know what to say, man.
You're cutting out pretty bad.
All right, hang on a second. Is that any better?
Yeah. Much.
Right. Yeah. My university is knowingly working with a Chinese firm that is involved in the persecution of Uyghur Muslims. Well, I mean, all I'm saying is we have absolutely no moral standards apparently in the West.
No, and we should cut the university's budget.
Yeah, but the university's probably broadly sympathetic because they call themselves communists.
Yep.
They don't pay council tax if their home is a mosque. Oh, really? Well, I suppose. Oh, they probably wouldn't. But too polite to use them. Well, that's your answer, isn't it? Take a cue from history. The EU is your King George. You can be politely subservient forever or be a tad rude. Well, we are actually being a tad rude. Like, we're not, like, that's fine. We're too polite to use the guns, but we're not too polite to be a tad rude, which is what Boris is doing at the moment by, and this has been my favourite thing in the whole world, not backing down on calling them letterboxes and bum boys.
Yeah, it's very much a good thing that he did not back down.
Yeah, I think that's stood him in good stead with a lot of this stuff. He's been able to stand some ground recently.
Yeah, they're letterboxes and bum boys according to Boris, and that's good enough for me. If that's the sort of acceptable limit of insults that we can use, fine.
He's doing like the yes meme.
Yes.
Like, so you're calling them letterboxes? Yeah.
Yeah. Louis, please go on PSA Sitch and Adam Friended stream. Teach them how to be Americans. Yes, that's a good idea. Louis, you should definitely do that.
Who?
PSA Sitch and Adam friended. I'll send you a link to the channel so you can see what it
Okay.
is.
Just start randomly talking about dude that's what the fuck was that dude called, Reg? Sorry, complete tangent, but
No bullshit.
yeah, but no bullshit. That's it. It's been annoying me all day. I've forgotten his name. Anyway, sorry.
Sorry, I'm just looking for. I've just refreshed it, and now I don't know where the fuck I am. Oh, right now. I found it, right. No, because you've got a long list. Sorry. Louis, yeah, right. So what happened with the complaint someone was filing to the FCC about PayPal and Patreon? Haven't heard anything. I don't know, but these things probably do take a long time. But I have no idea. I haven't been able to follow it because I've been busy with other things. Is there any new character in the sequels that isn't awful? I can only think of Poe, even if The Last Jedi tried to push him down, even though he was right. What do you reckon, Rags?
Well, no, Poe acquiesce, which kind of. Is there an actually good character in the sequels?
Yeah.
I would say for me it would be the most I can sympathize with or see is like a character that has any is Kylo.
Yeah, I found Kylo
No,
the
I
most
there's
interesting
no
as
reason
well.
to sympathize with him.
He's kind of petulant and he comes across like a child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's I mean, they at the beginning of The Force Awakens, that old guy that Kylo kills is sort of him, I guess.
Well, the thing is with Kylo, I mean, if his master tried to kill him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he's kind of fucked up because of that.
Yeah, that doesn't excuse mass murder.
Well, I mean, no, but like it goes
That's
some way
even
to...
like I'd even consider that a huge stretch. It's like, oh, my master tried to kill me. So therefore, I feel morally justified in the mass murder of all my students or all my fellow students.
Well, no, but like he's an emotionally disturbed person. He's mental.
Yeah.
Is the argument.
I don't think he's certainly not. He's not crazy or anything.
Well, I mean, maybe a little bit, but anyway.
I don't think so.
I don't think any of
I
the
mean,
characters are
he
very
did
sympathetic.
also assassinate his own master, like basically on a whim.
Yeah, but didn't he kill his own father?
Yeah, he
Yes.
did.
Yeah, so like he's not. I don't find him terribly sympathetic, but like
Well, is Han Solo at this point terribly sympathetic?
no, none of them are though. That's the problem, isn't it? Like this
Well,
whole
that's
thing's
because.
shit.
Well, that's because they completely undid everything about Han Solo
Yes.
from the original trilogy. They just basically hit the reset button on his entire character.
Yeah.
Because we
Yeah.
got to prop up our new shitty ones.
Yeah.
And White Hot Peppers on the heel of this, which is with very relevant, I have heard, Chad Mandalorian over Virgin 2019 Star Wars. I actually haven't seen Mandalorian
Yeah,
yet.
Mandalorian's
So...
pretty good.
Yeah, that's what
I
I've
haven't
heard.
seen it either
That's what I've
yet.
heard.
Yes,
Pretty
part
good.
man, part DeLorean.
Stiff upper lip, old boy. Thank you. Art Sargon, can you please increase? Oh, what in volume? Sorry, I'm probably miles away from my mic. Justin Trudeau on YouTube. Meanwhile, at Canada. What is Justin Trudeau on YouTube?
I doubt it.
I'm checking.
Anyway, lads, I'm heading to bed now, so good luck with the rest of your super chats.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm gonna get through them.
Good night, folks.
Night, man. Thanks for coming on. No idea. I can't see. Hi, so I'm painting some Chaos Forces for a mate. Doing this makes me hate the Forces of Chaos. Also, hi Rags when Scrump and Dev
Hello.
go into EFAP.
When is who in dev?
Scrump and Dev. As in
Oh,
the Dump and
eventually.
Scrump guys. Yeah, eventually is basically the motto of EFAP, isn't it?
And we got a lot of different videos to cover and
Yeah.
a lot of people on the get list. And the thing is, we want to try and match up guests with something that's like appropriate to their thing that they do.
Mm-hmm. Right. Live by your own words, Louis. Quit the job you hate so much. Show some strength and stop living a life of quiet desperation.
I saw that earlier when it first got sent into the chat. It's an erroneous statement, but I am
don't
in the
know.
process of getting a new job.
It doesn't sound erroneous.
But the thing is, you can't have a mortgage and quit your job.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that.
Is Astarte still hacked? I believe it is. The reason men control the world is because of women control men, and when men try to control women, they lose control of the world. And when women try to control the world, they lose control of men. Probably true. You say that no matter what, the British are too polite to use firearms against each other. May I suggest the M79 delivery system? No, we're currently in the position where it looks like democracy might win, and so we're going to use it. It's just really fucking annoying that the Remainers are as they are. It's just, I don't know, man. It's like they don't seem to care that after this they still have to live with everyone. It's really weird. Like, I don't know. I would have some thought to that, but I don't know. Well, what do I know? I'm a furry. Please say uwu. What's this? Senpai uwu. I hate you.
It's too late. You already did. That's how they get you.
Yeah, I know.
That's how they get you.
It's fucking done. Thanks.
Ban that person.
I've been a big fan for a couple of years now, and I finally made it to stream live. Could you do me a favor and say this? No, I'm not saying uwu nuzzle me, Daddy Corbin. I need your snuggles, thanks to us. No.
You said it.
I know. I'm just teasing.
I need to
ban that person.
Mozzie and the Excavation Project, thanks very much. Hey, Arch, translate this. Aha, he can't, I'm afraid. Pedophiles, that's what chainswords are for. Yes. Check Boris Wave Lo-Fi Beats and get Brexit done. Dude, we're literally listening to it right now, aren't we? Is it still on the background? No, it's something else. We were listening to it like an hour ago. I'll turn whatever. It's Douglas Murray, in fact. Oh, that's cool. But yeah, it's like Douglas Murray's just educating people in the back. Destiny has to wait in the car with the window left down a little bit. yeah, he probably does. The whole Destiny thing is just so fucking sad, man.
Yeah.
We're going nuts here in New Zealand. There has just been a big thing over this woman admin stealing 250k from a primary school and only getting 10 months home detention. Holy shit. New Zealand is wild, man.
I can say that in the United States, I'm not really liking the activist prosecutors that we're electing and the so-called prison reform that's taking place.
I've got to say, I really don't like the way that just the news items I see coming out of New Zealand really bothersome. Like, every day, every time I see something, it's something that I think should just not happen.
Yeah,
and
they're
so,
done.
Yeah, and so I'm just like, that's not good news.
If I lived in New Zealand, if I lived in South Africa, I'd move.
Oh yeah, get out of New Zealand to South Africa, man. Like, genuinely dangerous places.
Yeah.
New Zealand less so, to be honest.
Less so, but the state of the government, I don't think is much better in that
No,
way.
it's the sort of
actively moving against its own population.
Yeah, the soft tyranny of progressivism. So yeah, but anyway, Destiny sleeps in the wet spot.
That's what I read earlier, and I was like, I reacted to it at when that sent out.
That's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, it is disgusting.
I've decided that the truth is actually offensive, and we probably shouldn't say it out loud. But yeah, that's gross. But probably not inaccurate. So what am I supposed to say?
Yeah, what do you want us to do?
Yeah. I can see a religious backlash coming soon in the USA over Epstein culture coming in from Twitter. Unfortunately, UK lost here. Yeah, we're lost, man. Sorry, go on.
Go ahead.
No.
I was gonna say I do think that the way things are going, we're heading into the clown world decade. I do think there's going to be a resurgence of religiosity.
Well, there already is. I'm seeing a lot of it going around, to be honest.
I think it's picking up, but I mean it on like a nationwide level. It's going to become like a cultural phenomena, but I'm not predicting that currently, but I think it's coming.
Yeah.
I think that the drag kid shit is what's going to reconvert me to fucking Catholicism.
Yeah, I really don't like all of that shit, and I really wish they'd stop it, but there's no end in sight, and Twitter is saying, no, it's okay to be a pedo on Twitter. You can't misgender people, but you can be a pedo. So, just saying.
It's just what I love is that they expect me to believe that the drag kid thing and the story time thing, that's all fucking coincidence.
Yeah,
it's all coincidence that this is all happening simultaneously.
Yeah, it's so fucked up, and It's just normal as well. Like, they just take it as if it's completely normal. It's like there's no way I'd send my kids something.
And the trans kid thing that's happening simultaneously.
Desmond is amazing,
Well, the thing is too is I saw someone put this on Twitter the other day. This literally all of this has happened last couple years. Like
Yeah.
all of this has been happening in the last few years. It hasn't even been more than 5 years
Oh yeah,
since all this shit has started to become such a big deal.
yeah.
It's unfucking real.
It's really advanced really quickly, and it's creepy as fuck. It's like, suddenly this is just totally permissible. There's nothing to think about, and there's no discussion to even be had. It's like, really?
I can't tell you what the catalyst is or will be, but I'm telling you that somewhere down the line in the next 10 years, or maybe afterwards, the 11th year, after the end of the Clown World decade, like there is going to be not like a religious backlash, but I'm saying like a resurgence of religiosity.
And the thing is,
That's
they're going
what
to
I'm
have a fucking point as well. They're
Oh,
gonna-
absolutely.
By the way, like pedo kids drag time or whatever is morally reprehensible, and everyone's going to go, well, that is true, because it is.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of Peter Hitchens interviews recently because he's a fascinating figure, actually. I find, because for anyone who doesn't know, Peter Hitchens started off as a Trotskyite, so like a Marxist Leninist, and he unironically hated the West, and he completely bought into the mindset of it, and so he's talking to these BBC journos and explaining to them, look, you guys don't understand that like the people you're taking orders from are proper West-hating communist revolutionaries. Because I was one of them. I was in there, it wasn't about like, and they're like, yeah, so you're about equality. It's like, no, we're about hating the West. We're about hating these things. It's like, and that you can see the journalists being like, okay, now we're going to territory where I didn't actually want to go. And so they're trying to reframe it constantly. He's like, no, we just hated them. We just hated them. And it's like, fucking hell, And so it's like, you can see it's all kind of, and so he's become proper, like, high conservative. And
Well, good. I mean, I never consider. I mean, I always the infinite lesser brother, but I'm glad that he's found a spot in which that he can hammer the wrong sort of people.
well, yeah, and he does. But the thing is, they try and paint him as if he's angry and stuff. He's like, no, I'm very resigned. I won't be the one around 6. I'm 65 or whatever. And so it's just like, Jesus, like the proper black pill is Peter Hitchens, man, and he's just like, what's your message to young people? Get out of the country. Get out of the country. A collapse is
Really?
coming. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's properly fucking worldly wise. He's been around and he's studied his shit, and it's just like, fuck. Okay, well, I mean, I'm going to be optimistic because I'm the optimistic type, but fuck me, man. Anyway, here's your Boston Harbor reparations saga. Thank you very much, Zamorak. It was about time. I do need another cup of tea, actually. Movie Bob is lost. Last seen going up his own arse. Have you seen the Rocky Trump meme? Yeah, we had it up earlier. Hi from a British expat in Canada. Wise. I noticed that you have
Why would you go to
Russian as your.
Canada?
Yeah, I noticed you have Russian as your text for your name as well. So Russian bot confirmed. America, Canada, Australia are Britain's successor chapters. Changed my mind. Correct. Diversity is your strength. Austria-Hungary. All these men who cry in public should do a short testosterone test. Look at your hand. Your index finger is longer than your ring finger. It means you should be using the ladies' room. Yeah, that's true. It's about the amount of testosterone you're exposed to in the womb. But there are manly reasons to cry. But like there are genuinely that sort of thing. But it's like,
Do it in private.
yeah, but even if like no, but you can still justify like manly crying in public. You can actually, it is justifiable, but not using any of the methods.
Yeah, when I
that the
look at
left
the
is
fucking
using.
American flag flying in the breeze, yeah.
Do it in private.
No.
Do it in private. I've had enough. We've had enough generation faggots and pussies. We've had enough.
Here's that religious
I've-
backlash that you were talking about.
And that is my characterization. That is my characterization of you. If you cry as a man in public, you're a fucking pussy.
Well, maybe I can pull a Destiny and say, well, I'm such a
Line in
man,
the
I can
sand.
cry in public.
Line in the sand. We need to start drawing limits. We need to start raising standards. Enough pussies, enough soy boys, enough weakness.
Can't disavow. Tim Pool has a video on this. Unfortunately, the time has gone, so I don't know what that video was. It's not gropers, it's groypers, yeah. But it's funny, it's called gropers. Be careful about adopting an Australian-style point system. It's not nearly as strong as everyone thinks. We still get mini caliphates like in England. Yeah, but I mean, dude, we literally have the gates open. That's like one gate closed would be a start, you know.
I don't trust this 3D chess style of, oh no, we can reform. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Not with the numbers.
If the society, well, the numbers is part of it. My issue is that in the United States, for the extent of the history of the country, we have always had, the native-born citizens have always exerted constant social pressure on those that immigrated here, and that is fucking gone. If you say anything to an immigrant, you're out of a job, you're socially ostracized, you're done, you're dead, you're gone.
Same here.
That is the standard.
Yeah, and it's
it has to
necessary.
flip.
It's necessary, otherwise you lose the main culture.
Well, yes, exactly. There is no America if no one's representing the American way.
Yeah, totally. And this is the thing. It's like, you know, you might be like, but you know, some people might be short with immigrants. It's like, well, I guess some people might be short with immigrants.
That's the cost.
Yeah.
That is the price.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm sorry.
You wanted immigrants. You know,
you for every person that you're gonna have in the right saying to someone, pulling them aside saying, listen, dude, you need to take some lessons in English. You're going to have somebody that's going to be dropping an N-bomb. That's just a fact of fucking reality.
Yeah. It's not the end of the world. It doesn't hurt them. They can get over it. You know.
Adversity builds character. Adversity builds strength. We have enough weakness.
Right. Next one. There was a young lass from Leeds. She circumcises men with her teeth. It wasn't the skin she was interested in, but the layer of cheese underneath. That is disgusting. How dare you, sir? Oliver Cromwell didn't go far enough. Oof. I just want to say there was a massacre of English people in Ireland before Cromwell went over there. I think it's just worth pointing that out. All Antifa people never answer the German question. They are the German question.
Seriously.
That's why. Young men too poor to date, women most affected. Yep. I love the women.
Yeah.
The women most effective is one of my favorite fucking memes because it's just like it's everywhere. Like it
is the meme.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, the meme. You know, oh, something happened. It's the women who are getting it worst. It's like, really? Okay. Seems that the SJW movements of today thrive in large part on people's subconscious attraction towards their perception of what one allows what one allows into the herd, of what allows one into the herd. Even sorry. Yes, there's a lot of that's what virtue signaling is. It's like, oh no, I'm one of you guys. Don't hurt me. It's like, yeah, we actually live in a time where there are like social gangs that go around hurting people if they think wrong.
And on top of that, with the in crowd, it's the fashionable thing to believe.
Yeah. I'm on a stream of playing EU4 CK2 and just talking about history. If you say you don't know how to play Sargon, I'll happily T-pose on all of your viewers and teach you how to play in a day. I actually do know how to play. I just like this game. Although I've lost this game completely. I'm about to get absolutely railed. Happy Thanksgiving. Oh wait, foreigners have nothing to be thankful for. So I'm going to take the freedom pill and celebrate Thanksgiving. Come on, Lou, preach. Isn't that you celebrating your weakness, though?
I don't think so.
I mean, when you guys were desperate for turkey from the Native Americans, we were bestriding the world like a colossus.
How are we desperate for turkey from the natives?
Isn't that the story?
I'd have to reread it. I think it had to do with growing crops. I don't think it had to do with. I think it had to
Why
do
do you
with
eat turkeys?
I think it was the mass starvation and rampant disease.
Yeah.
I don't see how the natives.
While you were starving and diseased, we bestrode the world like a colossus. So I don't see.
Fast forward.
Well,
Rex, do you actually want me to address that?
Now we're a colony of the European Union. So
you can do whatever. You can do whatever you'd like. This is the United States of America.
It's meaningless.
And that's what he does.
The quote you sent me was from someone named Kuroxy, however you say it.
I thought you would enjoy it.
Another hardcore, pathetic posing and cherry picking extreme pure value, meaningless. I don't know what that means. Adversity builds character, says the person whining that they want society to protect them. That's why I own a gun. I don't need society to
Don't you know
protect
that
me.
those things are completely dichotomous? Those two things literally can't coexist, Louis, of course.
It's a nonsensical statement, and it has no bearing on what I said.
Be careful.
he's
Kyoto's pretty
hilarious.
smart, so you better watch yourselves.
Oh yeah,
okay.
he's hilarious.
He is, but he often baits you guys into positions. So, like,
I don't know what position I've been baited into.
Yeah,
well, I'd have to find
you
an
can
example.
say something that impresses me. I'll change my mind.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
a good.
shit.
That's good. Yeah, challenge Kyoto. Say something that impresses Louis. Trump would invite the entire Cherokee Nation to the front row of the debate, like he did with the women Clinton didn't assault.
I wouldn't do that, and I wouldn't advise it.
No, it would be funny though. Happy Thanksgiving. Oh no, I did that one already. I found most classical liberals have no answer to the problems posed by hyper-individualism, e.g. you don't have good moral answers to the sexual liberation maximalists other than pragmatism. Yeah, to be honest with you, that's a problem with Enlightenment philosophy generally, because if the goal you're aiming towards is freedom, then if someone's like, well, I'm for more freedom, even if it's freedom that's actually detrimental and damaging, because literally anything taken to its extreme is damaging.
Social pressure, social standards.
Yeah, but why? Yeah, but why? Why do it?
Because we have social standards.
Yeah,
Because
but why
there's
do we have-
standards in which how you should behave.
Yeah, but what are these standards based on? Is the question to ask. See, we don't have good answers for it. That's the thing.
Yeah, and we are not the ones. I'm not gonna say that my principles will create a perfect country and that we have the answers to everything and ours is the be all end all totalitarian solution to all of the problems ever. Or if anything, our position is there's going to be issues and they're better than the alternative, and we have to live with those by our very nature.
Yeah, I mean, my position is just don't fucking oppress me. I guess at this point, you know, don't tyrannize us with fucking gender communism, please. If that's not too much to ask.
I don't really know if the basis actually matters. So I mean,
it's hard to say, to be honest.
Well, it's the why.
Like, the position isn't pragmatism. Even in mine, it's not a matter of pragmatism. Like
Okay,
there
well,
are
why?
arguments that I could make that are pragmatic, but I don't think the basis of what the standards that I hold, I don't believe them to just be a matter of pragmatism. Like
Okay, well,
pragmatism
what are they then?
would. What the basis?
Yeah, what's the basis?
It would just be the outcome of a lifetime of bias.
Yeah, but that's pragmatic. It's not based in an abstract principle. That's you saying I have discovered through experience that if I do this thing, then I get a beneficial outcome.
It's not the basis of my arguments.
Well, what is?
Well, the to act in a certain capacity, such as let's say with Hunter Biden, having an illegitimate child as he fucks his dead brother's wife and divorces his current wife of 20 years.
Yeah.
From that, the issue itself.
But
is
you need a particular moral principle that underpins it. If the argument is like the God-given sanctity of the family, this is Dev did a video on this the other day. It was really great, talking about the madman or whatever it was, who's running around yelling God is dead.
Dev has good videos.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Because that's the thing. We are technically just like floating on this like coherentist foundation.
I agree.
And so the problem is like that is actually true. You know, it's like what are we actually basing this on? Why are these things wrong in principle? And we do have that problem, but I mean, that is a question that we do have to resolve. But for now, I'm perfectly fine to just say, you know what? No, fucking pragmatism. I don't care. Like this will get us a result that's more productive than the result of like chopping off someone's dick or something. You know, like so we will just take the pragmatic argument as read for now, and we'll figure it out afterwards. Okay. We will fucking figure it out.
You have to find that balance between what is good for society and how do you uphold the supremacy of the individual without going too far in either directions. And you got to find out where you think it's most reasonable to have that line and reason through things and accept that sometimes you don't have a you don't have a perfect answer, and that all positions you hold
Yeah.
are tenable based on what you know and what you can learn. And
But once again, we're talking about a process rather than a concept. So that's the distinction I would say there.
Sargon, could you do me a favor? Either give me mod or ban Bowser from spamming, so the
Yeah,
chat.
yeah. Say
stream
something in
doesn't
the
get
chat,
banned.
and then I can mod you.
Okay.
Coherentist, it is common sense. Completely agree, Billy Blogs.
Well,
That's the honestly, the coherentist position is the only one that I think is actually defensible, even though it's not perfect either. None of them are. And that's the thing. Like this is why the purists are just like, I don't assent to anything that's not obvious. So fuck off. That's not even an answer.
The only differentiation that I would make in terms of the topic at hand about pragmatism is that pragmatism, in my idea of the way that I would view it, would be pragmatism would be changing the laws to restrict freedom. When my point isn't to restrict freedom, it's to simply use social pressure to put basically an onus on someone to stop behaving in a certain way. That doesn't make it illegal.
yeah, it's the difference between encouragement and coercion.
Yes.
Yeah, but the point is that you're effectively assigning yourself the position of God and saying it is because I say it is.
Well, it would be a position of ultimate authority.
Yeah, ultimate authority.
But
yeah.
I'm separating that distinctly from that of the state. I think that there should be a separation in that, and that's the distinction I want to make, because I do think that I am consistent in that I want people to be freer than they currently are, even in the United States. But I don't think that that means that just because something's legal that you should just suddenly abandon any social standard for behavior.
Yeah, but this is the problem anyway. Though it's like even saying God says so, that's still an argument for authority. It's not actually like an argument that for. I mean, I don't even know what we're going to be basing this on, and that's the problem. No, like this is why God's dead. But anyway, moving on, because otherwise we're going to be here all night. To a question that has yet to be answered about the Enlightenment. Like the best philosophers don't have the answer to this.
Literally, one of the best philosophers on the subject had no answer, and just raised the question.
Yeah, and it's the unsolved riddle of the Enlightenment. It's like, why are we doing all this? It's like, that's a good question. It just seemed like a good idea at the time because we could. But anyway. If you think the guy at the Labour conference was bad, think how you think we Americans feel about Beto, USA president, campaigning in Mexico. Yeah, man, he's really securing that future demographic, isn't he?
Well, he's done.
Yeah, he's done.
He's gone. But
still.
I don't know if he'll be back. But I do think that his candidacy does raise certain questions related to a number of issues. But the thing that he did that basically set Trump in the greatest position ever is whoever wins the nomination, he could basically, Trump can take everything Beto said and say, do you agree with this?
Yeah. Hell yeah, we're taking your AR-15. Good job.
And they either have to disavow Beto in that position, or they have to affirm that they believe in it. And if I was on Trump's team, day one, first debate, whoever the nominee is,
Warren.
Those are the questions to ask.
Yeah. Do you stand with your partner in the Democrat Party who said XYZ?
It is a win-win-win scenario politically, strategically, because they either affirm the position, which alienates a whole slew of people, and those within secondarily, those already within the Democratic Party that disagreed. That forces them to confront the fact that that's who their candidate is. Or they say no. And not only does that make them then weak because they're disagreeing, but also they now fracture their base.
Yeah, they show they don't have any unity very openly. As if that was really in question. This is just another thing on that pile.
It's all wins. It's all wins. And I swear to God, man, it's going to be one of the biggest missteps that Trump makes during the re-election if he doesn't use Beto to his advantage in the
I'm thrilled Beto actually he actually went out there and said it so clearly and plainly.
He said several things.
Alex Jones put it on a t-shirt. Genius.
He was outright making the moral case for just open borders. And other candidates followed him. They followed him
Raise
that
your
point
hand
of-
if you'd give illegal immigrants free healthcare.
Yes, yes.
Why? You don't owe illegal immigrants free fucking healthcare, you
So,
lunatics.
It's something that Trump's campaign would have to be out of their mind and not directly
Oh,
take
yeah.
advantage of
Just
during the
just ask
debates.
them. All right, what's your moral? Then if
No,
that's
no,
your
no.
position, then why would give me the reason why you say we shouldn't give healthcare to Mexico?
Well, there's that, but my position strategically, the smart thing to do is say that, like, especially if they it's one of the candidates that raised their hand to that they support it. Have Trump say, okay, well, I respect that that's your position, that you believe that foreign nationals should have an entitlement to health care paid by American taxpayers. Sell me on that position. Explain it to me. Sell me. Tell me why I should support it. And they will fucking implode on national television.
Coyote just posted, you mean utilitarianism, you're actually using pragmatism. Yeah, that's true. Like the end goal is just the most good for the most people.
Yeah.
And that,
Yep.
yeah, so I suppose in that way we actually are utilitarians and we are using pragmatism, you're right.
Yep.
Anyway, let me... hi, Rags. Wow, Rags, you're so popular.
Hello.
I love how people complain about Boris's letterbox comment, yet the Australian politician Pauline Hanson, a non-Muslim, literally wore a burqa in the Senate and made another senator cry. Fucking based. Made another senator cry. That's a hell of I am aware who Pauline Hanson is, and I do like it when people are so straight talking, I have to say. For God, Queen and Country from New Zealand, yeah, good luck, guys. Free Hong Kong, sanction China. Thoughts on 2024? What do you guys think about 2024? Too early to call, I would say, but
2024.
yeah, who's running and whatnot?
I don't know.
I'd say it's
Fuck
far
it,
too early
Rand
to call.
Paul. Fuck it, Rand Paul.
Rand Paul. I mean,
Trump endorsed Rand Paul.
Did he?
he would have to put up a much better game than he did in the last.
Yeah. He's not saying anything that resonates. That's the problem.
A bunch of I can guarantee at least 5 to 6 random rhinos / neocons, never
Yeah.
Trumper,
Yeah,
useless
yeah.
dregs.
But I'm hoping Kanye runs. You know.
He might. He claims that he's going to.
God,
He's
that'd be-
been dead face serious about it.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is, I think he's the kind of fucking maniac who would actually do it. And the thing is, I totally support Kanye for president, man. Totally.
It's honestly though, it would be like, besides the meme issue, it would just be a matter of what he actually believes. What is his platform? What is he campaigning for? Because with him, it could be a variety of things. It's like him and his wife are both. They're the biggest ones running around clamoring for fucking criminal justice reform and prison reform, and all it's been is open the doors for the didn't do's. And I don't agree.
Yeah. Happy Reichsgiving. Akbar is the most sympathetic. He got out early. Something witty and relevant. Thanks, Helm.
The chat saying Yeb 2024.
Yeb. Oh, Yeeb. What were we?
Jeb
Jeb.
Bush.
Yeah, Jeb. It's his
Jeb.
moment to shine.
Well, I mean, I'd probably back Jeb.
Do it,
for the
Jeb.
move.
You can do it. Jeb.
Our deputy PM in New Zealand has been caught in a pretty big scandal. Could lead to the breaking up of our coalition government. Good. I'm half Kiwi, half Aussie. Even I don't want to be associated with those sheep rapers. Right, okay. New Zealand invented the condom by using sheep intestines. Aussies advanced on that idea by removing the intestines first.
Aha.
Ardern and Trudeau from behind the naval iron curtain of Australia, US and UK. Fuck the US, Australia and UK, you're racists. Ardern is what Swinson will become. I'm not familiar with Ardern, but Swinson, I can tell exactly the kind of person you're talking about because I know exactly the kind of... I mean, Swinson calls herself a girly swat, and it's like, okay, well, you've confirmed you're the least appealing person. I mean, even Jeremy Corbyn is more charming than Joe Swinson, which is, says everything, really, doesn't it?
Who isn't?
Well, yeah. Fuck, I'm getting caned in this game. Look how migration worked for the Native Americans. Oof. Sitch is a leftist, changed my mind. No, he definitely is. Most people don't know that the original colonies by the Pilgrims tried redistribution. This is why they were starving. They tried communism. I will have to look that up, but I will happily believe it because it's something I want to
It
believe.
was Miles
They-
Standish who
they-
had to say, "He who does not work does not eat."
They
Was
were
it?
religious fanatics, so
Yeah. Social justice was a Catholic idea. They probably weren't Catholics, were they? Puritans.
well, it's probably a South. No, I don't think that's fair. I don't think
Have
that's
you seen
fair.
the video "Baby Boomers Speaking to Us" from 1989 by David Hoffman? There's a lot. No, I haven't. Let me have a look.
You ever seen videos of like from the 70s of white people from the inner city talking about why they don't want blacks?
I have not.
So look them up, 'cause, man, they it's kind of eye opening.
I'm David Hoffman.
Okay. Well, I mean, should we watch a little bit of this video?
What is it?
I'll put it in the link in there. Right. I'm just gonna like play like a minute's worth of it. See if we get any good stuff. Hang on a sec.
Filmmaker, and you're about to see a clip from my 6-part PBS television series, Making Sense of the 60s, circa 1991. So it's a long time ago that I made this, and an even longer time ago that I'm looking at. I'm looking at the 1960s. I'm looking at middle-class, largely
You
white
are making them watch together.
suburban kids in the new suburbia.
hang on,
I
hang on.
came
Just-
from
just watch
Levittown,
it
Long Island,
on your own
one
for
of
a
those
sec.
suburbias. There had been a PBS series called Eyes on the Prize, which looked at the black civil rights era experience. So PBS gave me a grant to make a series on the largely white
Okay.
suburban middle class.
Skip into like
And what I-
4 minutes. In.
Content with life. They're looking forward to an important date, dinner at home with the family.
Though they seem artificial today, educational films like this one, which were shown to school children all over America, accurately reflect the attitudes and values of white middle-class society in the 1950s, when real-life documentaries were few and far between.
Doesn't that sound exciting to you?
Their purpose was to teach kids the proper way to behave, and to repeat and reinforce a set of rules.
The rules were things you talked about on the telephone with your friends, and they were imposed by your parents. Parents talked about it a lot. There were high school counselors who told you what the rules were, and even if they weren't written down, everybody really knew, and you could almost read them out, cite them. And I think looking back on it from the 60s, what people did in the 60s was self-consciously break every damn one of them.
The women of this family seem to feel that they owe it to the men of the family to look relaxed, rested, and attractive at dinner time.
Oh wow, how horrible this
Arthur
is!
notices the time,
So are
realized
So
like
the
is
women-
this supposed to like go ahead?
The women of the family feel they owe it to the men to be relaxed and attractive for them and to make dinner or whatever. It's like, wow, that sounds terrible.
And I love how like I'm further ahead than you. It's like, yeah, they're told to obey authority. You mean listen to the advice of their father?
Yeah,
That's what you actually mean, don't you?
yeah. Like, you know, just conservative familial values. This is what this is.
What the fuck does dad know?
Yeah, right. Yeah. But right, don't send any more super chats, please, chaps, because it's quite late and I need to go to bed. Yeah, I'll watch the rest of that video though, man. Thanksgiving is a celebration of cooperation and sharing between the natives and pilgrims. Natives taught the pilgrims how to live in the new world, and the pilgrims repaid this bountiful harvest. What with lead? Sorry, it was a joke. Can we get a resurgence of the golden rule? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I would say that's the best ideal for morality. Yeah, I mean, again, it's just...
The problem is no one followed.
You should invite CPG Grey into one of your streams. I really don't think he'd come. Jebbo Baggings. Kanye is going to lead the religiosity backlash. Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Like, it's entirely possibly will. Kanye West could be the second black Republican president. Yeah. We need General Sir Charles Napier-style multiculturalism. That's how we keep a culture. No. Why Liberalism Failed by Patrick Deegan. Read that. I will do, now that you brought that to my attention. So I can get Louis to stream with Academic Agent. Yeah, that really needs to be done. Louis, you just find a guy, go tweet.
I'm already everyone that fucking says for me to stream with people, I always at them, I always ask, and I'm always ignored. If you want me to do something, go ask them.
I
Have them
will
fucking
message
contact me.
him on Discord and set you guys up. the 2024 privatize ICE. Yeah. I love the privatize ICE meme. That's funny as fuck. Deported, dead or alive. That's just good job, V. Communism is slavery. Correct. Right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and thank you, chaps, for joining me and having a nice chat with me. I'll send me across links to your channel so I can I'll pin them in the comments, because I'm nice that way. And I'll speak to you all later. I'll try and do another one of these more often as well, because I know that I've been busy and I haven't had time, but I will try and do these more often. Anyway, thanks everyone. Take care.